love. We're going to be answering the mysteries of life tonight. And we have so much love for you. We've got candy. We've got roses. And the lucky bachelors, bachelorettes, and all the open micers. You all get a rose tonight. They're all, go in the back room. In the back room, on the cocaine dashboard. There's roses. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. We got the Lana Del Rey microphone. Chris Isaac. We keep getting microphone. Yeah, 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 yeah. We're rocking on Monday. All right. Open mic Monday, everybody. Give yourselves a big round of applause for coming out on this beautiful New York City day. Woo! Hell yeah. This is actually completely empty. It's just a prop. I'm the host of Open Mic. I'm Matt Proctor. We're here every Monday. We have got so many stars. We've got to make this a star search. Somebody's getting famous tonight. I'm Nick Cannon. I'm hosting, and I'm free Nick Cannon. You want to talk about love? I mean, Jesus. He's great. He's great at his job, is what I'm saying. Okay, so we got poets. We have comedians. Love poetry, right? That's what it all comes from. That's why I started in high school. I remember looking at the romantic poets. The romantic poets. Because of the word romantic. The word romantic was like part of it. And so I was looking for language to express these incredible feelings that I was feeling falling in love for the first time as a teenager, as we all do, listening to pop music and having our hormones be manipulated by Madison Avenue and the people that want to sell us things, and MTV, Britney, and Victoria's Secret. Because it was the 2000s. I don't know, I feel so much love, and apparently people aren't having sex, but I hope you're having sex. I hope you have sex tonight! Yeah. Because that is the glue. I mean, you don't have to, but if you want to. But, so it's 5 minutes per performer. There's kind of rules. But, you know, it's 5 minutes, 2 drink minimum. Everybody's great. I'm so excited to see everybody. Thank you for coming out on Valentine's Day. I mean, this is going to be a party on a Monday. Monday's the new Saturday. That's what Sir Javier said. And I agree. So you can use the romance microphone if you want. I'm going to read a recent love poem that I wrote. And I was made fun of in high school and rejected from the literary magazine because I wrote too many love haikus. That was a complaint that I got, but I don't care. I'm still writing them. I'll never stop. It's my life. It's my wife. It's called scene study, everybody. Scene study. You can't stop video. Get ready to have a good time. Lo-fi study beats, consumer reports. Meanwhile, I'm going to try to use a computer. Brought my chapbook printouts in a Shake Shack bag. He gave us the weed to smoke it. Jesus would be they, them.
True.
Non-binary. Christ. Left for dead. I love this apartment. I love this apartment more than life itself. My apartment is just like a big whale heart that I live in. Merlot. Bloody. Dr. Schmidt ringing across the courtyards. David Berman was mentored by Billy Bussy-Face Collins. Playing with ascending reality. I hate time. Bearable couplings liked it better when you would send me videos of you masturbating to my live stream. High mansard in the air, there's a hole in the city. Streets floating, air sidewalks. In it to win it! Celebrate the moment. They fixed the sign, are pulling the scaffolding down and finishing construction just in time for me to leave. The violence of mispronunciation. Can I finish? Can I finish? Can I finish? Can I finish? Hershey's Kefir collector's item. I live like Willem de Kooning. I live like Willem de Kooning. And just like that, filming Perry Street, Carrie's iconic brownstone. Making out with Aiden. They're back. They're back together. Love is in the air. Sex in the city. Sex in the city. We need some combs down on 7. Vacuum planners. Drinking George Clooney and Randy Gerber tequila. 10 cents on the dollar. You want a strong theme to generate strong photos. Thought your feet were clothing. You can't touch the ground-based false ice cage. Something beyond early books of poetry. Every single thing we owned. Make Coke, not war. Minify Kinmare. I wish 3 Lives book was open. Female director calling action. Limit. Super sample. Do not order dessert. All week to think of ideas. Wave to her. She's touched by the softest creations. I don't have that much stuff. They get paid to fuck. A slight sour note underneath, which was therapeutic and not unpleasing to the taste. Women eating my body. Old flower water. Real Housewives of Bohemia. I thought of you today, my beauty. I thought of you today, my beauty. Anywhere people are gathered sitting on the ground to watch, it is natural to sit on the ground. I always get my heart broken on Valentine's Day, baby. That's my policy. I don't know about you, but I always get my heart broken on Valentine's Day. And we are not going to get our heartbrokens. We are going to get them sealed and mended tonight and healed, baby. So get ready, KGBs and parents. We're going to get it kicked off with Valerie Apperson. She's going to play some tunes. Thank you all for coming out. 2 drink minimum. Let's be great to Ben, the great Ben the bartender.
I'm usually a stand-up comedian, but I thought like for one night I wouldn't shit on them. But I have reason to. You know, I once married a guy who didn't fuck me for 7 years. What the fuck? Wow. Yeah. Oh, the gasps, I know. I know. Well, I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness. It turned out, no, it doesn't plug in. When I finally divorced him, it came out all over the local news that he had been molesting his high school students. I know, it was horrible, it was embarrassing, but it turned out to be kind of a relief because there was nothing really ever wrong with me. I just like aged out of the system, you know? I should have married him when I met him in middle school as my substitute teacher.
Wow.
Shout out to Victor Talamantes, that piece of shit. But I am a sucker for love, so I'll read you a short poem to show you. You know, I'm not made of stone.
Yeah.
All right. So it goes like this. Your spirit is bright and iridescent, pockets of shadow within an aura of clear, jagged crystal. When the sun with its own flares and spots shines through it, the beams you cast become glitter, rays of color and light piercing out from your every radii. All your surroundings now brighter yet deeper, falling under a vast and glimmering glow, extending outward in tones of silver and gold. Brilliant, fluid, fluorescent flickers, expanding forever with you at the center.
Yeah.
Woo. I have so many jokes for you, but not enough time. Okay. And then I'll sing you a song. And this song, you know, like, no relationship is like easy, but I think we could all agree that some are more difficult than others. Right? And this one started as like just one of those moments where I was like, this is going smoothly, you know? And I think that's a nice sentiment for tonight, so let's do it.
Yeah.
that if we go on this great adventure, we can get through this painful growth. Come on, let's go build something brighter. We can build something taller, faster and kinder. I know it's never been easy, it's never been easy. I know it's never been easy, it's never been easy. But I don't know, I think this might be easy. Sure, I could be wrong, but I've got a lucky feeling. I know you've gotta earn your stripes and you've gotta pay your dues. If it was difficult for them, it must be difficult for you. Well, I don't know, I think this might be easy. And I could be wrong, but I'll show you all my reasons. And if my logic's flawed, help me see what I'm not seeing. I know the past was horrible and the future is unknown, but in the present moment our attention is our own. So I don't know, I think this might be easy. Oh sure, I could be wrong, but I've got a lucky feeling, which never steer me wrong. That's why I exist singing. I know it's never been easy, it's never been easy. It's never been easy, but this could be so easy. So come with me on a great adventure. That's it. A minute? Okay, I got a minute. That means I got a joke for you. Let's see. Okay. After I left the world of sexless marriage, I had to enter the world of dating, right? So I had like a lot of interesting experiences. I dated like a 6'4" Jewish mathematician who had Crohn's disease, and he would emit like a slight poop-like odor. And then I dated a Filipino fishmonger, and he would come home from work and just reek. And then it finally hit me like, oh my God, Valerie, you just have terrible smelling men. Let's back it down. One more. I moved in with this other comedian in Baltimore, and we were living together, and I opened up his laptop on the couch, like just to see the time on the lock screen. But it didn't open to a lock screen. It opened to a full screen of naked images. And I was like, excuse me, who are these women? And he was like, you don't understand. You can't delete files off of a Chromebook. They're just old cam girl crushes. It's a Chromebook and you can't delete files off of a Chromebook. And I was like, okay, number one, either you're a fucking liar, or two, you are really bad at computers. And honestly, I think the second one worried me more, because what's going to happen when autonomous vehicles become the norm? He's going to be like, oh, you can't delete ride history. It just took me to the cam girl's house. So eventually, like, I know it was wrong, but he fell asleep and I had to know who they were, so I opened up his laptop, and for the first time ever, it was password protected. And I was like, well, shit, maybe we do have a future. That's it. Thank you very much.
Valerie Apperson. Fantastic, the Slashy, the poet, songwriter, amazing. Thank you for coming out, definitely come back. That was wonderful, thank you for sharing that. And beautiful guitar, by the way, as well. I launched these chapbooks this week, live from the world. Thank you. They are available, they're out there, they're free, they're released. Thank you. That's well, just tonight, they're presents. There are no refunds. Sorry. They're in the powder room in the back. There's not that many of them. I'll make it up to you. I'm sorry. Can we get this next poet? Love this next poet. Javier Ruiz. Is Javier Ruiz in the house? Big round of applause.
I wasn't expecting to be called up that fast. I'm usually prepared, I promise. Just give me one moment. Do you guys want to hear something like sentimental, or would you like to hear something horny?
Horny! Yeah!
Horrible? That's both. You got it. All right. I'm gonna read a poem called "Thoughts on a Bus to a Mountain." I want to write a poem called "Why We Should Fuck." I want that poem to feature this line. I do my morning wordle very sexily. Babe, my gray matter is throbbing for you. I don't think I should really make that poem, but this is so much more than just about my poem, because somewhere between the 5th and 6th ode to Midwestern City 63, I realized that maybe your type of art just isn't made for me. Syllables and sounds will bounce against my face. You could spray me with noise and snaps and polite golf claps. You can grab onto my hair and grind your poetry against my lips, tower over me until semicolons and commas come, dripping from my chin. Yeah, it's gonna get worse. I could feel your stanzas tracing shapes against my skin. You can feel my hands against your throat, my breathing shaken and stirred, because it may happen to be sexy, but I just can't stand to hear you say one more fucking word, because you see, this framing device may seem unnecessarily horny, but life imitates art. Peel the veneer off my mask and you'll see in both places I've just been faking it. I'm only doing my part. And the only difference between the applause from your set and the smoke after sex is one doesn't trigger my gag reflex. So, that's that. I hope you guys like that poem. The kind of silence was like, oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, so that poem is about fucking poets in multiple ways you can read that. And I have a bit of a different poem. If I have enough time, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, man. Sorry, I'm a little high. I wish I wasn't. I would have been more sober. Alright, so this piece is called Lies and Cigars and Pocketbooks. It's very important to me, so if you don't like it, pretend that you do. Freedom is found somewhere between the dairy aisle and the edge of the universe. Because I can't seem to fucking find it. Amorphous and flexible, the definition stretches and adapts to fit a different definition daily. It's kind of hard to pin down, and that's mainly on me. I happen to be a bit of a clown. Big nose, definitely wearing makeup, a habit of laughing through trauma. I see what freedom can be, though. I see it every day, same as the setting sun. It's a bouquet of flowers, violently purple and sadistically yellow, blurred and hazy. Eyes squint and see the sign foregrounded. We're getting married. It's a boy, officially hired. It's a girl, officially fired. It's alive. It's not alive, and that's okay. Poetry in motion. I can see life in slow motion thanks to social media's promotion of others' devotion to each other's love potions. Pins me down. Call that lonely boy waterboarding, because I just soaks it all in. What is freedom for you can never be freedom for me. There are too many lives lived. Too many corpses hold me down like sandbags filled with old jokes, old dreams, old smiles. Life isn't what our moms promised us. I stole 20 from her purse one time and she said, when you're an adult, all you have is trust. You can't be anything in this world other than just you. All we have on this world is us. But Ma, I've been everything other than me. I've lied and licked and lived and died and drowned and prayed and sucked and cursed. Blood hasn't made me closer. Growth hasn't made me wiser. Hazed me to believe in the singularity of the soul and its unchangingness. But if I've been chained to the solid earth, trapped by generational chains, familial pains, minimal individual gains, I can be free through who I could choose to be. Growth in the infinite expanse of the human ethos. The Big Bang happens again and again. Man reinvents man, and all of this weirdly archaic, overly semantic wordplay, just to say, growing has been hard. And I'm getting better. It's getting easier. Mark 1 becomes Mark 2, becomes Mark 3, and I just want you to be proud of whatever Mark I decide I want to be. Whoever you happens to be to me. I smoke a little more these days. And I definitely don't have any signs with flowers announcing anything other than a snazzy drink I've made. I think if the corpse of high school me could open its eyes and see me, it would hate who I've turned out to be. A smoker and a drinker, an overly emotional feeling thinker, a tinkerer, and a bit of a stinker. It would do what it could to kill me. But I don't care. That me isn't the one I want to see. I want to see the me with the bowl cut, with the pot belly and the saucer eyes. I want to see him and him to see me. I think he would like what he'd get to see. And he would know how to be free. He'd give me a big hug, a smile with years of dimming ahead of it, with my wallet in his hand and a 20 gone from it. All he has is trust. And at the end of the day, he knows he'll be fine as long as I'm here. He has us, and I'm still alive. After all, I'm already 25.
Yeah.
Javier Ruiz, everybody. He has an excellent magazine that he just put out called Phases. Sorry, Phases. Check it out. See, reading high is wonderful, isn't it? I encourage it. All right, we're very excited about this next performer. Can we get Venus up on Valentine's Day? Let's have some Venus. Venus is in the house.
Sorry, I didn't get a seat, so I didn't want to stand in heels. So. Are we gonna be able to? Can I get this help with making this mic stand taller?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm gonna win the fight.
Yeah.
And does anyone in the front row fancy themselves a particularly good videographer? I just need a simple video, you know. My man, gorgeous. You know how it works. Okay. I'm gonna grab my notes just in case. What's up, y'all? How are we doing tonight?
Woo! Yeah.
It's Monday. I get it. Okay. This is gonna be. All I have for you is just one kind of intense poem. It's kind of long and it's a fun ride, so I hope you stay with me.
Yeah.
An invisible cunt is haunting my life. At breakfast, it looms over me, radiating like oppressive heat. At lunch, it sits in my loins, gyrating like Satan possessed. And at dinner, it tickles my throat. And I tell you, eating out never felt so weird. Eventually, the cunt will dissipate, evaporating into the wind. Some call this transition, others call it rebirth. I call it goodbye. See, I have a dead name for a dead man, but we never even had a funeral for him. What would we have done with the body? So I returned to poetry. I grabbed the shovel. Someone's got to begin digging. Audre Lorde once wrote that the difference between poetry and rhetoric is being ready to kill yourself instead of your children. And I have already killed my children, estrogen killing my sperm, my womb a home only for stomach acid. So I returned to poetry. Grab the shovel, prepare the bed. I have this dream. I wake up with my skin melting off my face like clocks in a Dali painting. I shove my face into the freezer, molded into how I please, my body bending like clay, my soul the fire in the kiln, and for a moment, burning and unformed, I'm happy. The dream becomes a nightmare. The cunt's cravings overtake me. I long to be wet, to rain, spray, bathe, bleed, milk, shower, waterfall. The cunt haunts me, taunting. What a fate it is to be dry, to be still as stone. See, this must be why I weep. I want the fat, dripping wet. I scratched my legs as a child till they bled, giving my skin that oozing fluid I know I deserve. Somewhere the cunt throbs, and the craving overtakes me, and I claw at my chest ravenously, like a starving vulture tearing at its corpse, and in this glory of undressing, finally my exterior melts away. I emerge from the bloody carcass, proud and radiant, a woman made of diamonds, my crystals refracting rainbows, my skull iridescent, my legs swaying to the sweet symphony of diamond percussion. I walk down the streets of Manhattan and all the taxis slam on their brakes. All the pigeons freeze in the air. The rats peek up from their sewers, and all the businessmen open all the skyscrapers' windows to look out upon this magnificent body made of diamonds. All the eyes of New York City are upon me, not with that venomous disgust I have grown so used to, but with an unrecognizable look of love. And this is how I know I must be dreaming. So I force myself to wake up. I return to poetry, grab the shovel, scatter dirt on a familiar face. It's like planting a seed. Thank y'all.
Yeah! Woo! All right.
Venus, everybody, that was fantastic. Thank you so much. One more round of applause for Venus. If people want to come in, you are more than welcome to sit kind of here at the foot of the stage. If people want to come in, it's up to you. I understand it's cramped back there. Thank you for coming out. This is excitement, everybody. Wow, Monday night at KGB, upstairs and downstairs, it's packed. All right, this next poet was celebrating their birthday recently. She just came in today from the DR. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Tatyana. She hosted Open Mic at Pete's on first Friday. Everybody, Tatyana, everybody.
I literally just fucking landed. Like, no fucking joke. Really happy to be here though, but
Yeah.
that's it. So, I turned 35 this week, and last week, I guess. And, it was like mixed feelings, because I feel really good. Like, I feel like I look good, I got a good job, I got good friends, like, everything's good. But, you know, like, I'm missing the love in my life. So, I was talking to my ex, and I have a few poems, so they're all about him, but the one, yeah, it's bad. So the last one that I'm gonna read is one that I actually read here last week, but I added a lot to it, so it's revised. So some of them I wrote while we were together, and then the last one is something I wrote really recently. I wish I could delete people out of my reality, so it's just an empty beach with you walking up to me with a protein cookie in your hand. I grab it from you and say, "What the hell are you doing here? This cookie tastes like shit." And then we'll drown into each other. Let the sun burn these memories into our skin like forever is a possibility we were unaware we had. I'd do anything to keep you from leaving except tell you not to leave. I'll learn chess, I'll take up Portuguese, I'll go rock climbing, cook you dinner, I'll listen to Steely Dan, I'll watch Gaspar Noé films till I puke, I'll play bossa nova music when we're in bed, let you jazz all over me. I'll be less sad girl for you, smile more, tell you you're wonderful every day. I'll wash your hair, kiss your shoulders until they're purple. I'll start jogging, help you quit smoking, I'll learn more about art. I'll impress you with Bjork interviews as I slowly unbutton your shirt. I'll be so interesting. You haven't even seen the best of me. Like the way my eyes go carnivore when I'm in love, or the way my hands shake when I read poetry. You haven't even made me come. I'll sweat and shake, or see me dance. I'll jump and drop. But I guess it's easier when you're the one leaving. When you're moving forward and they're waving goodbye. I guess it's easier when you're 27 and 30s seem like a long shot and New York City is just a winter fling. You know, it'll be spring before you know it. You'll be gone by then, walking around Sao Paulo with your curly hair. She will remember him as disarming. He will remember her as Tachi.
Yeah. Woo! Yeah.
How much time do I have left? Okay, I'll do two more. This is called Underrated. I've already done your astral chart, and the stars agree that we are not compatible. But Sunday night when we were leaving dinner, you walked ahead of me, then turned around and gave me a kiss punch poem. Sitting on an Uptown 6 train at 8 a.m. on a Monday, after 2 hours of the worst sleep I've had in years, running 40 minutes late to work, aggressively hungover, with the biggest fucking grin on my face, thinking about the duality of Off Clint, her paintings, a representation of the dark side of love. You remind me how beautiful simple can be, how you don't need much to feel everything. Maybe Clint just never met someone that made her laugh and kissed her temples. Maybe Clint never listened to jazz at 1 a.m. while her lover put his hand on her leg. Maybe she never had to say goodbye and hold someone, knowing that it could very well be the last time. Maybe she never felt so much in one day, the joy, the pain, all together in one big panic attack. Maybe we all need a little bit of chaos to feel alive. The steady beat of a drum is all we have, and piano will always be our midnight lover, the shadow, the one we didn't even know we needed. I will skip every day of work if it means you'll be around. I'll give up reality. I don't know how else to tell you except with poetry that you are the drums to my head bop. That watching you eat cheesecake is better than sex. Watching you eat cheesecake is better than any drug. Watching you with your fucking grin eat cheesecake is pure heaven, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah.
And then, we'll do the post-breakup one. So, just like to recap, I almost married this person, and also we were in a long-distance relationship. He's from Brazil. It was, yeah, very complicated. This poem is called I Used to Be a Romantic. It's almost February, but it feels like that time we went to Central Park and got lost between the shadows of things. I forgot what your hair smells like, even your laugh is fading. I have creases on my forehead now. It's a perpetual look of disappointment. Even sunshine in January can't fix this. The truth is, I miss you. The actual truth is, I miss having someone to miss. As a runner, I've learned you can't stomp feelings into the dirt. Sometimes you just have to sit on a park bench and let the waves crash into you. Other people fill voids like mothballs when all your favorite sweaters already have holes. They're just there, preventing the inevitable. I want to feel excited about someone, about anyone, so I book a flight to Brazil, wander the streets looking for your ghost, eat rice and beans, drink caipirinhas until your voice mirages out of the sugar and juice. You speak softly and tell me you miss me. I speak drunkenly and tell you don't bother. We look at each other until we realize time doesn't move backwards. Years have done damage that even therapy can't repair. So I book a flight back to US and call Pierre, call Christian, call Stasio, call Kobe, call Arthur, call anyone that will answer. They all blend into one person that isn't you. I still have the ring you gave me when you got on one knee and told me stories. I look at it from time to time and try it on to make sure that it still doesn't fit. It's too big. Our love was always too big for two continents. There are only so many languages between the two of us in which to say I love you, я люблю тебя, te amo. I will learn more languages if it will bring the love back. Nothing brings the love back. I will buy more plane tickets to go back and fix it. Nothing will fix it. I will do anything to go back and say I do. Thank you.
Yeah.
Tatyana, everybody. My ex has been texting me too. She was commenting on my YouTube live stream. It's just that time of year, I guess. But I'm looking to the future. Speaking of which, Lewis Mason, everybody. Are we ready for Lewis Mason? We haven't seen him in a while. We're ready for some rock and roll entertainment. Once again, we're here every Monday. You can sign up for next week at easyparadise.mag. Do it now. And you'll be early next week.
All the kids are doing it. I'm getting a feedback from something. Well, you'll figure that out.
Oh, yeah. Did you plug in? Is that? How are you? Soon. You have to go? You have to go? Alright, I'll put you next. Okay, I'll put you next. Are you leaving now? No. Okay, alright.
Matt?
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah, it's great.
Okay.
Hey. No, what's your name? Vanessa, okay.
Alright, so here's an original song.
What's your last name?
Matt, can I sign up for next week when you get
Yes, definitely.
Sick. Thanks, dog.
That's always the one they watch. Yeah. We didn't watch last week. Fuck you. We're like, hey, you're still
So.
talking about me? Are you getting out of here?
Do you know if I made it on for tonight? I messaged kind of late.
I think I probably... Did you message me today? What?
I'll talk to you later.
So here's an original song. Why a while back. Here it is. You guys hear this song? This is a song called My Valentine. I sit beneath the moonlight, a quarter after midnight, feeling far from alright. Got someone on my mind, my one and only Valentine.
Yeah.
I'm waiting on the night train, dodging cars and cold rain. My heart's engraved with your name. It's been a year or two, and still I only think of you. I move So long I've been alone, waiting for a way back home. All the while you're somewhere, your dreamy eyes are soft hair, dancing with your soul bare. I don't keep track of time when I'm with my valentine. The lights are on the avenues, but nothing much is brand new. The song's the same, the view too, and more than I can know. There's still such a way to go. Your mind is like the night sky, so vast and so high. I watch the moon and stars fly along a foreign shore, like so many times before. Southbound, where they say that love's found along the dotted line, with my little valentine.
Yeah.
Releasing an EP in a few weeks with a few different songs, so just come talk to me if you want to know more information, and thanks for listening. Thanks for having me.
Hell yeah.
Lucas Mason. With that echo on it. Wonderful stuff. Thank you for coming. Come back. The Valentine's Day continues. Love is in the air. Let's get some love poetry. One of our favorites, Francine poet, everybody.
Yes, I love you. And I got the vintage mic. But yes. So, well, if you were here last Monday, you would know by now that I'm that poet famous for her horrible music. So last week I told the heartbreaking tale of a love poem never delivered. Tonight I'll tell you about this muse that I fell in love with.
Yeah.
And she was the first girl I kissed. And did other things.
Yeah.
Key premise. I'm Italian. We're Italians. And Italy is like next level homophobia, because it's not like they say, oh, you love a girl? Oh, it's bad, it's evil. The nifty manipulation goes, oh, you think you love this girl, but of course she's your friend, you love her as a friend. So I was in the closet for a long time. And if I liked someone, I would hide it behind my poetry. And if someone said, beautiful poem, you like the girl you wrote about? I would say, I would have my self-brainwashing answer, oh no, I'm a poet, like she's my muse. So I moved back in New York City in 2016, and I was hanging out with these musicians and artists. And in the crew there was this beautiful, charming South American girl. And we became really good friends. We were always hanging out. And one night we were sitting at the darkest corner of Berlin. She gives me this same comment. Oh, the poem you read about that girl. Do you have a crush on her? And there I gave my robotic answer. No, you know, I'm just a poet. She's my muse. And then something unexpected happened. She goes, oh, so you don't want to kiss her? Do you want to kiss me? And I freak out. And I'm like, no, you're my friend. You're my friend. I never, ever kissed a girl before. I'm not kissing you as my first. Well, let me tell you. Women with such charm, they don't take no for an answer. So it kind of became her seduction goal to get my first kiss for herself. And it's summer, we go out, she makes me dance, I resist. We go out, she makes me drunk, I resist. She gets me high, and I still remember that moment. Late summer night, hot and hazy, we were crossing the streets, and she holds my hand. The summer steam effusing from the pavement. After we cross, she stops and grabs me. Fede, kiss me. And I could not resist. And one kiss led to another, but each time she would say, Fede, we're friends. Meanwhile, I was falling for her. So I said, look, we have to keep this like plain vanilla friendship. No holding hands, no kissing. She agrees. And the next time we go out, she grabs my hand. And I release it. No hands holding. If you take my hand again, we go back to my place. She took my hand again. The next day, she leaves my apartment, and shortly afterwards, she writes something along these lines. Don't tell anyone about last night. I already told the word. You know, I'm not like, this is like literal quote. I'm not gonna turn gay overnight. I like this guy, I'm gonna date him. That's it. Me, I kind of like, you know the quote, Grey's Anatomy, pick me, choose me, love me, whatever. It didn't work for me. So I was heartbroken for months. And I wrote this poem, Chinatown Bohem. But aside from the heartbreaking tale, igniting the inspiration for this poem, there is more to it. I think it's literally the greatest poem I wrote, because it's a testament of an artist that chased the inspiration, and I hope it speaks to you and you could make it your own. And tonight, it's twice as special because my incredible, brilliant pianist friend, he's here with me and he's gonna accompany me, even Dahlia, and you should check him out. You should come to his performance. He's incredible.
Yeah.
A special thanks to him to be here with me tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So here it is, Chinatown Bohem. 5 a.m. walking on canal in the light rain, no shame of my heart, full of love. My heart, and all around the trash, the rats, the bums, the drunks, lost on Ludlow, this Chinatown Bohem. 6 a.m. dawn through the crimson of the curtains, your pale skin, our darkness within, and my heart full of love. My heart, outside the dark, the bark on Forsyth, the electric bikes of the delivery guys.
Yeah.
And the trash, the rats, the bums, the drunks lost on Ludlow, this Chinatown Bohem. Please stop, time traveling, but how long will it last? The pain. How lonely do I have to feel, not to feel anymore? How many hits does my heart have to take in, so to stop swelling of you, this Chinatown Bohem? I'm a loser defeated by some kids. No, I'm not. May the loveful rest in peace. I just need to focus on me, cause I'm the new beat. I am the new Patti Smith. This Chinatown Bohem. Getting off at Grand, getting off at Spring. The subway defines my life frame. Getting home for a costume change. Then out in the night seeking what? I know I won't find it, but at least, there is poetry in the streets. There is poetry in the trash, the rats, the bums, the drunks.
Yeah.
So lost on Ludlow. But this poetry is killing me. It's a Chinatown Bohem.
Francine poet, beautiful, wonderful Valentine's Day. And I'm sorry, what was the pianist's name? One more time for the pianist. Phenomenal. Wonderful, beautiful, thank you. All right, let's get some comedy. Can we get Jimmy Ong? Is Jimmy Ong read? Some hilarious, yeah. Give it up for Jimmy Ong, everybody. It's a 2-drink minimum. Once again, a 2-drink minimum.
Alright. Sure. Thank you. Yeah, thanks. You guys can text each other the words you want to talk about. That's the nice thing. That's a tip. You guys can talk during the set. Just text. Hello. Happy Valentine's Eve. That's, how many liars out here? How many people have said they love someone and they didn't? Is that everyone? Jesus, I've never told anyone I've loved them. I've tried, but I haven't. I've gotten drunk. I'm like, oh, very close, but no. Man, this is great getting called up here. It reminds me of, like, you guys ever watch Price is Right? God, I hate those people that fucking bet $1. Those people are evil. Those are the people that fucking buy all the sanitizer and sell it for high price. All right, you guys. Still thinking about that? Right. Yeah, I've been thinking about relationships, love, man. The last person I dated was a witch. She studied Wicca. Oh, you guys laugh, yeah, no. I dumped her, and after that I've been in the biggest dry spell in my life, so don't laugh, that stuff's real, man. I had to look up Reddit how to break up horny spells. There's so many people that are expressing their feelings, it's beautiful, man. I can't, I suppress the shit out of my feelings. I write in my journal, like I think I'm deep, but I'm not. Like, I love listening to like The Smiths or The Cure, like, oh, they'll talk about how I feel. But I wrote in my journal, I'm like, oh, I'm feeling something really deep. And I'm just like, dude, I can't. I'm really horny. That's all. You guys weren't here last week. There was these two dudes that they rapped this really awesome song, and they had a great sample. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
I fucking Shazammed their sample because, dude, those are some horny tones. Who listens to? You guys have sex playlists?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do?
Yeah.
Does your partner be like, you played this for other people, haven't you? You fucking hornball. I've tried that once. This is the first person I ever dated. I lost my virginity to this person. And I was like trying to be all romantic. And I thought I had a good sex playlist. I played the soundtrack to Sweet and Lowdown. You guys, don't fuck the jazz guitars. It's all over the place. It's like, you gotta have a good sex playlist. Sex playlist is the metronome for fucking. All right, you guys, not a lot of musicians in here. Just okay. All right. All right, here we go. Round 3. I think there should be a game show called like, how long does it take for an American driver to realize they're driving a Canadian car? Because if you've never driven a Canadian cars are kilometers per hour. And I drove on the BQE going 60 kilometers per hour, and just the mean looks you get, Jesus. It took me like 4 mean looks, I'm like, oh fuck, this is kilometers, I gotta change the speed. Alright. Yeah, being an straight Asian guy, we have it the worst out of all guys. We have the worst stereotype. I don't even have to explain. You guys know what the fuck I'm talking about. But I'm trying to rebrand. I need to rebrand. That's why I like to, every time I go to bed with someone, I'm very grateful. I'm like that snub lottery pick. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking, alright, once more. No, but like, I feel like when I have the chance, I get in there, it feels like putting on the Hurt Locker. You know, I gotta make sure it counts. I can't make no mistakes. Gotta get in there, I'm sweating. I heard this one lady talk about how she hooked up with an Asian guy and the guy hurt his back. I'm like, good. You have to give it your all, guys. You have to give it up for the culture. Alright, I'm done. Have a good night.
All right. Hell yeah.
Jimmy Hong, everybody. Hilarious. Thank you for coming out and listening. All right, do we have Arianna Geneson? Is Arianna Geneson in the house? Oh, hell yes. The wonderful Arianna, everybody. Big round of applause.
I think I'm gonna sing a love song and then read a poem that's like kind of love vibes, but like angry love vibes. I'm gonna sing Do You Know What It Means to Miss New Orleans, which was made famous by Billie Holiday and Louis Armstrong a very long time ago. I've never had this kind of feeling.
Yeah.
With dragon heart and brain a-reeling. What's the matter? Here's the matter. Here's the thing that's really wrong with me. Do you know what it means to miss New Orleans and miss it each night and day? for something more. I miss the one I care for more than I miss New Orleans. Let's see, the poem I'm gonna read, I actually read this at Pete's, so I'm sorry if you were at Pete's, guys.
Yeah.
Represent.
Simple truth, never true nor neither simple. You wretched spike-born smile, terror unclean. Will you, cool bite of shadow, breathe and gaze? Your tendrils shine death to air so yet unseen. Wrought breath, steam feast, gawked on from hilly waste. The words once so written on capitol walls. Scrawls dug as graves, chip paints engraved, like such vomit as you brush daily from your hairs. Rested, it was returned and yet consumed, returned to you consumed, and we like rotted roots, rotten shoots, fallen under those same dying feet, had lived the same breath, stank of nature's stench, by blood our birth and bond, by treachery vile. Singing, I spilt. I'm more wicked than you, I would have to be. As always, sense prevailed. Me, the diabolical arm, a flock like newborn's beak pitched up and down on call. Such tricks had won him, yet again by sweat, soul sick from handling closest to your flesh. With each breath gaining, shadows writhed and watched again. Ripping hair, I sunk sorrow to the roots. You prayed them I'd stay true to you, but simply put, the truth you already had. You made me, before memory could reveal. Soiled, stained jest, dirt of weeping pyre's sacrifice, left only to insanity my lungs, and so my heart awoke and sang. It pled in soft soprano for your blood. Thank you, guys.
Arianna, Geneson, everybody. That was beautiful a cappella. I love a cappella. Please come out and sing a cappella when you read. It's wonderful. All right, this next poet we're very excited about. Can we get Chris Giambri up from a family of poets? The Giambri family. Fill up Chris Giambri, everybody. Woo!
I came much after my family of poets. Please don't put me up in this. I got a few poems for y'all tonight. Happy Valentine's Day Eve.
Yeah.
I become a shelter of a place to stay, where the street noise doesn't reach out and come to the brighter land, where the sun is always setting on these fleeting moments, wasting away in the sink filter, dishes aren't washed, and I've got nothing to do. Anything would be better to just get up and scream your name, but you never showed. Watch is broken.
Yeah.
Comfy bed hurts my back, and I'm missing a pillow. It fell on the floor, and caught too much dust in that corner where I keep the rest of the things I want to forget about. Like my broken skateboard. The stairs were too big, and I lost count of how many days it's been since I last saw you. At the intersection, the light was green, and you didn't go. Were you always like that? I'm afraid of ghosts, like the ones who haunt me if I stay too long.
Yeah.
This might be the closest to Valentine's Day one, so thanks. Fill me up with butterflies and spiders. You love nature, and I found these pigeons to look at. Let's talk about honeysuckles and what you did for joy when you were 9. The benches we sit on are always broken, and I pray it catches a hole in my pants. So we can sew them at yours. My boxers are bright red, and I know you love bonfires. So let's get under the covers and tell ghost stories about horrible hot chocolates without any milk, because you chose to be vegan today. On a Wednesday?
Chris Giambri, that was excellent. I loved it. Real poetry, RP. I'm just going to do a little selfie with the open mic, the open micers out there. Woo! That's for Snapchat. That's for my my TikTok. That's going to the Chinese surveillance balloons. So Straight to them. That's right. This is all surveillance. It's all going straight. I'm a spy. No, I'm just kidding. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. We got such great entertainment. Can we get Leona Godin? Leona Godin, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for coming out. We got a lot of great entertainers to come.
I'm afraid to say that it is Godin, like French sculptor Rodin. And this is a really cool open mic. I am so excited to be here. I am working on a story for a performance that I'm doing in San Francisco next month. So this is part one of a story called Inheritance. It is 2018 and we are in my dad's North Beach, San Francisco apartment, and he is in a wheelchair now. He has severe neuropathy and he has wounds on his feet that aren't healing because he can't feel his feet, and he keeps getting these terrible infections, these life-threatening infections, but he has refused amputation that could prolong his life or it could kill him outright because of his age, and he's decided to die the slow way, or I suppose the slower way, and now he's asking me what I want. Now I know my dad well enough to not break down in front of him, so instead of crying, I demand the most wonderful treasures I could think of. Dad, I want the Peruvian gold statues. My dad had inherited the Peruvian gold statues from Uncle Art, who was a mining engineer, a gold miner in Peru. And his house had been filled with beautiful art and artifacts. It smelled like alpaca blankets and cedar wood chests. So it was not super surprising to see in a museum-like case 2 Incan gold statues. There was a little man with a kind of a square headdress and a little bird, and they were a few inches tall, and they glittered from the light beneath them, and they dazzled my little girl eyes. I have a degenerative eye disease, so I spent most of my life going blind, so these statues have remained in my mind's eye long after I've been able to actually see them. So my dad tells my partner Alabaster to pull down the statues and bring them to the table. They're in 2 plexiglass display cases, and I pull off the top of one of them, and I go to pick up the little man, but he's like affixed to his pedestal, and my thumb almost busts through his breastplate. Shit! He's hollow. I'd always thought that they were solid gold. Suddenly I feel super not ready to inherit these treasures. And honestly, it's kind of a strange time for me to be inheriting anything of value because we are living a vagabond artist existence. My partner Alabaster, who you will hear from very soon, is a composer and I am a writer. And we are crisscrossing the country and we're basically living out of suitcases, so I'm not really looking forward to schlepping these treasures around. Also, as soon as I get them, I didn't see this coming, but as soon as I have them in my possession, they get really heavy. Not physically heavy because they're hollow, but existentially heavy. It occurs to me that they probably should have never left Peru, that I actually probably have no right to inherit them. All of a sudden I think I better figure out if these are really what I think they are and find out where they belong. So I have Alabaster take a bunch of pictures of them from every angle, and I start Googling pre-Columbian art, and I send off emails to every likely suspect, from the Metropolitan Museum of Art here in New York to the Museum of Anthropology in UC Berkeley. And then I start to keep Googling, and I'm sending things off to art appraisers and dealers, and I'm getting no answers. People keep referring me to other people, but then they don't reply, and so I'm just getting nothing but crickets. So my dad and I have this long-standing ritual of talking on the phone once a week with stiff drinks in hand, and it used to be really fun because he would tell me about his world travels and his he loved to go to the musicals, and he loved living the good life. But since he's been in a wheelchair, he hasn't really been doing much of anything at all. he is kind of depressed and he's not going out, and our conversations are a little bit awkward, and plus he has like some skepticism about my life choices. My writing career seems a little bit, shall we say, amorphous. And it's been a few months since he gave me the Peruvian statues, and he interrupts the awkwardness and he says to me, "So, did you sell them yet?" I'm like, "No, Dad, I didn't sell them. I mean, I'm broke, but I'm not desperate yet." And I tell him about my research and everything, and I don't tell him about the crickets or anything like that. And then he asks me what my book is about, and I say, "Oh, well, it's a personal and cultural history of blindness." And he takes a very eloquent sip of gin, and he says, "So you think people will want to read that crap?" And he has no way of knowing that just a couple of months after he dies, I will sell that crap. I mean, my first book to a little publisher called Penguin Random House.
Yeah!
But all he knows right now is that we are both disabled, and for him, disability is keeping him from living the good life. And for me, through my writing, I am finding a new kind of treasure, and that is disability pride.
Yeah!
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
This is Alabaster. She's coming back.
And Leona Godin, everybody. Godin. That was wonderful. Thank you so much for coming out. We'll have Alabaster in a few minutes. For now, we've got Sarah Osit. Can we get Sarah Osit up to do some... Is she still here? Did she leave? Did she leave? Oh, she's here. Yes. Full of funny words on Instagram. Brilliant poet. Sarah Osit, everybody.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, it's Funny Bones. But I don't have my journal today, which is weird. I usually only read off my journal. Also, I'm feeling very sad today. So here's the set. It's 3 poems. This one's called Gems. How's this? I don't know.
Yep.
I'm so bad with the mic. The heart, it's useless. Your heart, it's unfinished. The crow that buried its favorite rock, remembers rock, returns to rock. Were I to be dug up for you, I would be forgot. Tuesday is a slap in the face. There are pieces of your body that I pick apart in my brain. I make them work for me. I order them around. I say, do this, knuckle. Over there, thigh. I would say that I am broken, but it's too familiar a feeling. I'd rather sit in this not knowing. I'd rather be shattered to bits.
Yeah!
This one's a longer one. Today is the most fertile day, a circle in fact. A flow moves in a line on charts and in diagrams. 2 ovals on either side. Oh, and one on top, that's your head, more heart-shaped. This time, standing in a cemetery, you tuck the pearls he gave you into his suit pocket, in the ground now. His uncle says to you, nice stems. The amount of people is more than anticipated. Wearing the good stockings to awake, who were they for? What fire are you leaning yourself over to ignore? The drawing in his journal, very graphic, like someone in grade school. A vacuum at your cunt, as if suction was how it felt. A message that read, you killed what we made. That's first love, right? Undying, but now clearly, what did we make? How many lives over does it take? Here, we have but one. Untethered in its ground, a kite tied to a pole, still tied, and still a kite. Woo!
Yeah.
last one. It's called Doraville. People aren't inherently bad, or so it is said. Skip over a rock for bad luck. Stale body with a sharp tongue during wake sleep. Once, there was a place to put the filth. Me. Its autonomy, precious at a time not required. Violation comes so easily. One day, dirt will fill every pore and orifice. With glee, I'll dream. Thank you.
Sarah Osit, everybody, like a real romantic, supplying her own rose in a bottle. Thank you. Now we have a scenery. It's like a Tennessee Williams play up here.
Just a chair and a piano.
That's right. And we're just in the View Care, New Orleans, down here. Okay, sorry. I apologize. Okay, can we get some comedy? Ready? Are you ready to laugh, everybody?
Yeah.
Yes, let's get Dan Toomer up here. Come on!
How are you doing, KGB Bar? Are we good?
Yeah.
You having fun?
Yeah.
I really wish the Italian piano player guy was up on stage with me right now. That would make this a much better experience. This is fun. This is my second time ever at KGB Bar, guys.
Yeah.
Woo! You think this is how Karl Marx did it?
Yes.
Like a weekly open mic, and it's just like 5 minutes. You gotta wrap it up. Some people want to do songs, do whatever you want. I get 10 minutes up front. That's just like the deal that I have.
Yeah.
Cool. You guys excited for Valentine's Day coming up?
Yeah.
All right, 5 of you. That's sick. I'm not that excited. I've tried to date in New York, and it does not go well. The last date I was on, the girl told me it wouldn't work out because I had theater kid energy. I know, like, where'd you get that from, right? That's crazy. Yeah. Are my cheeks red right now? Is that they're like flush and everything? Yeah, my face does that. That's not good on dates either. Like, I'll go up to girls and be like, "You look great. I'm sorry, my face is exploding right now." But think about that term, theater kid. That's. I didn't think there was a more unfuckable word than kid, but when you put theater in front of it, that really seals the deal, right? That's like, wow, this isn't gonna work out. You really just put the nail in the coffin with that one. Like, even if the date started and she was like, "Sup, kid," I'd be like, maybe we get out of this okay. But she really, I shouldn't have given her my headshot. That's on me, right? That's definitely on me. Alright, so how do you think I should follow up? Do I text her first, or do I kill myself right now? Hey, dating's hard. My dad's getting pretty old. He's getting up there, and I come from a big family, but sometimes I have to make the calls in the family, and I had to talk to my dad about his will recently, which that's not something that you want to do usually, but I called him, and it was tough, but I gave him a call, and the first thing I said, I was like, "Dad, first things first, happy 45th birthday. Second, I think I should get the house." And he was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And I was like, "Oh no, it's happening so early. All right, my name is Dan, I'm your son. I'm a very successful comedian who performs at the Red Room open mic. I'm very wealthy, but I need a house real bad that I don't pay for," right? I think the biggest sign of my dad aging is that, like, I don't know if you guys have seen this in like older people, but they don't keep like thoughts in their head, you know? They just like say, right? They just kind of say whatever they're thinking, right? So he was visiting me in Brooklyn the other week, and every time he saw a group of people, he would go, "Hey Dan, is that Mumford and Sons?" "Dan, is that Mumford and Sons?" And I was like, "Dad, you can't call every Hasidic Jew you see Mumford and Sons." It was him. No, and it got worse. We went back to my mom and we were telling her about our day, and he was like, Sheila, Dan and I had the best day in Brooklyn. We saw Alex Rodriguez and Joe Rogan outside of a deli. I was like, Dad, that was a Dominican man and his pit bull. You fed the dog. You fed it. Joe Rogan didn't bite your hand, Dad. I didn't have the heart to tell him we weren't even in Brooklyn. We were at a Yankee Candle store at an indoor mall, but God love him. You guys ever, here's a transition. Should I? Maybe not.
No,
okay.
do it what
yeah,
you
I'll do it quick. Yeah. Okay. You guys ever been to a One Medical before? Yeah, it's like this, it's like a doctor's office, and they're trying to like make a doctor's office like new and improved. I didn't think that was needed. I feel like they work. But when you go in, it's like this hip new age doctor's office, right? It's like if you walked into a Crate and Barrel, and then in the back they were just like doing urine tests on 20-year-olds, and they play like new age music, which I don't like. Like, I don't want a doctor to tell me, like, Dan, you have gonorrhea, and then the second thing I hear is left foot, right foot, levitating, pop star, Dua Lipa with the baby, right? But I don't think I like doctor's offices because I'm a bad patient. I always mix up the good information with the bad information. Like, my doctor told me, she was like, Dan, we ran some tests, and it turns out your sodium is at a 135. And I was like, 25 was a good run. Don't think I have much longer. And she was like, that is the most normal level of sodium you could have. I was like, oh. And then she was like, but you also have an abnormally large prostate. And I was like, well, some of us are blessed. Some of us are blessed. And she was like, no, that's cancer. And I was like, oh. And it was silent. And then the next thing I heard was left foot, right foot, levitating, pop star, Dua Lipa with the baby. So if anybody here is looking for a man with low sodium but a massive prostate, my DMs are open, guys. I'm Dan Toomey.
Yeah! Dan Toomey, low sodium, massive prostate, everybody. Get on that for Valentine's Day. Thank you for coming out. That was hilarious. One more time for Dan Toomey. All right, what's he gonna say? 2 drink minimum. Please see the bartender, Ben. He'll hook you up. The doctor's got your medicine. Can we get Addie Berger up? Is Addie Berger in the house? Woo!
Wow, thank you. I fell down the stairs twice on the way here. Yeah, it's hard out here. They're slippery. Cool. So I have some poems to read. Excited to be here. So this one is about getting wet. I thought I wanted to be washed to sea. I don't have any water in my birth chart, but I long to be deep and filled with blue. Convinced the moon didn't love the sun because of her affair with the ocean. The first time I got drunk, I was awash. The vodka tasted like brackish water. 13 and lonely, I couldn't get enough. Yeah. I choked on vomit until it all came back up, washed ashore alone, draped over a rock. When I almost drowned, it felt like love. I swam too deep, following some fish. And when I looked up, everything was blue. So focused on treading water, I didn't feel it filling up my lungs. And I coughed and coughed and coughed. And then there was the time I got pneumonia. I spit up blood as fluid was filling my lungs, but everyone thought I was faking it. I was left suffocating with my head underwater. I was always a strong swimmer, raised in chlorine, but Father told me that water always wins. So they left me in the deep end, told me to kick, keep breathing. They found me heaving, hacking, till it all came up. But the moon doesn't control the tides. No, she sways them with some light influence. And that summer I dyed my hair blue, trying to become what almost killed me. I let my skin prune in the bathtub as I held my head under the soapy water. Woo! Yeah. This one's about hands. Open hand like an unlocked door, like welcome home. The smell of moss and dirt. Kick your shoes off on the kitchen floor, make yourself comfortable. These sweaty walls, palms and four walls, how could you want more? Open hand, like after you. Let's see how this goes. A polite excuse, a curtsy, a thank you. What is there to misconstrue? Open hand, like a prayer. Said in a soft voice, like pennies falling in a graveyard. On your knees, begging for mercy. If I offered up my body, would you drink my blood? Open hand like a dare, like sweat on the back of your neck, like bloodshot eyes, a turning, a challenge, an occasion to rise. When you said you couldn't bear it, were you telling me lies? Open hand like an offering, a banquet, an arrangement of fruit and flowers, a bouquet. Pour wine, waiting for flies to gather, watch as beauty turns to rot. Who's left to clean up when the lights go down, when the last candle is blown out? Open hand like a life vest, a place of refuge, somewhere to weather the storm, dumping buckets into the ocean, trying to keep a sinking ship afloat. Open hand like a threat, like a slap in the face, like a clenched jaw and lifeless eyes. Were you marking your territory or just leaving me with more lies? Open hand like stop. It's a no that won't come out, so it's a squeak. A spark like a broken fuse, like please, give me a moment, hear me out. Open hand like surrender, like a white flag. Words hanging in silence, I'm sorry, I give up, you win. This is all I have left to give.
Yeah.
Okay, this is my last one, and this is how to forget. So, a woman often praised for independence and effervescence, and former sugar baby finds herself crumpled on the floor, seeking solace, a solution, annihilation, or retribution. Realize the shower is running. Climb in and destroy the evidence. Drawing blood or allowing the water to scald is okay. Rinse and repeat as necessary. Find fresh clothes. Find keys, find wallet, check to see nothing's missing. Call the hotel. Call a hotline. Call the police. Call the person who did this. Call the police again and then stay on the line this time. Remember with as much detail as possible. Then question the reliability of memories. Remember how it used to feel, not with remorse or sorrow, but as an academic. Study your emotions with unwavering pragmatism. Try talking to someone, try yoga, try journaling, try Googling it. Try throwing fists into a brick wall, try unraveling until there's nothing but loose ends. Lay staring at the ceiling, thinking about trying. Let the sun rise and set. 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 Lay in the darkness. Let tears crash like thunder, like waves. Let spill until empty, until the face turns red and puffy and wet, till there's nothing left. Give in to the overcoming urge to wrap dry and cracked lips around anything. Consume and be consumed, come up and then back down. Eventually, the numbness will pour through open wounds. Wrap bloody lips around a cigarette, a pipe, a joint, a bottle, whatever fits. Hold a flame and stare into it. Wonder when it left the eyes. Repeat as necessary.
Yeah!
Addie Berger, everybody. Wow, that was fantastic. Please come back. Thank you so much. One more time for Addie Berger. By the way, you can find everybody in the Easy Paradise Mag Instagram moments. We're tagging everybody as they perform. We'll have pictures tomorrow. So follow each other and cross-pollinate, and let's create some art together. What do you say? Let's get some collabs going. Let's get some magazines going. Speaking of which, we're very excited to have this next poet with us. He's not always to make it because he's the world's fastest elevator operator. He's normally operating an elevator. We're very happy to have him for Valentine's Day, no less. Very special. Editor of the Burning Palace. Let's have a big round of applause for Billy Pedlow, everybody. Billy Pedlow.
What's up, everybody? I got some raps for you tonight. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna read raps. I got some love poems.
Woo!
Poems that I love. Porno poems. I think when people think of porno, they think about sex, horniness. What I think about is immediate reaction. So these are about like 1 sentence to 4 sentences. So if you feel like the poem's done, like you can react. It's gonna be really short. So this is the first one. With my luck, they dropped the nuclear bomb and only my ex-girlfriends survive. Gonna tell my kids they'll go to hell if they watch porn because I know it will make them come harder.
Yeah!
This one's a little longer. Crazy how sometimes you can get a glimpse into someone's orgasm face in some of the most mundane moments. Oh, you sneezed? God bless you. I just watched you nut. She's yawning, I'm moaning. Cut your finger off with a knife? Looks like that hurts, baby, let me kiss it. My love for you is like the tallest tower, but you were a terrorist in an airplane. Okay, we're gonna get through this. I recently massaged a pregnant French lady named Veronica, and I was enticed. If I was a woman, I'd carry a gun.
Woo!
Okay. Misogynist. Sounds like ancient Chinese master, Mr. Misagi. Wax on, wax off, because all you're good for is your pretty pussy. Okay. Okay. Passing the modern Bechdel test. The modern Bechdel test is when 2 intelligent and attractive women are discussing me or my work. My name is Billy Pedlow. Keep going. I got 2 more.
Let's go.
Okay. Her laughter was like the names of flowers I couldn't remember. I always thought about that. I wish I could carry her in my pocket and she could tell me all the names of things I am too retarded to pay attention to, and the languages I couldn't learn, and the countries I couldn't find. Okay, last one.
Yeah.
Okay. 2 choices. This is basically, there are only 2 choices. Blonde bitch or brunette bitch.
Oh my God. Wow.
My name is Billy Pedlow.
Fantastic. Wow. Thank you.
Billy Pedlow, everybody. Follow the Burning Palace, follow his social media. Thank you for coming out. One more time for Billy Pedlow. All right, can we get Alabaster Rhumb up to do some more poetry for us, everybody? Once again, 2 drink minimum. 2 drink minimum.
Actually, I need to plug in. Yeah. Just let me hear.
Oh, you're a student? I don't think I remember that.
Yo, what's up?
Oh, yeah.
What can I say? I wanted to go all that.
No, preparatory yet. They took my iPad. I started wearing a mask. I'm not sure why.
Oh, sorry. I thought.
Yeah, you can plug it. Okay.
My chair got taken.
Okay, so I've arranged a book of songs. I wrote a book of songs. I arranged them for a wind ensemble, expressive for the fact that I'm a wind instrument myself. I thought that was a good idea. But wind ensembles are expensive and they're difficult and they're attached to people. So I brought a digital wind ensemble with me. Okay, so here we go.
Woo! Yeah.
Once upon a time I took my first step out to sea, but I was a gambling child, a strangely filthy, into missing time, this entangling, climbing on the rocks, up against the stars, and tomorrow with the sea will die. Woo! The sleeping bells of the terror are sounding, the shipwrecks are wailing, descend into the sea. In the twilight by a Ferris wheel, witty and drunk on a lullaby, I was a stumbling child, a bumbling, guilty and ruthless and righteous and thundering, climbing on the rocks, up against the stars, and tomorrow with the sea will die.
Yeah!
The crashing bells of the terror are pounding, the shipwrecks and counting descend into the sea. The shaking hands of a shaking man, flailing under the boiling sand, they defend the light, they defend the dream, they defend against the reality. Nowhere to stop, once you break the lock, once you see inside, you'll lose your mind. A shaking man with a shaking hand, with a pen I defy, with a pen I defend. The reaping bells of the terror is creeping, the shipwrecks are sleeping, descending into the sea.
Alabaster rhumb, everybody! That was insanely lit! Oh my god! That was the greatest thing we've ever had to the open mic. I'm sorry. I apologize to everybody else. But when you can do that, then you will get the prize. One more time. Wow! That was phenomenal. Alabaster rhumb, everybody. Oh my, that was fantastic. All right, is Phoebe Bradbury here? Phoebe Bradbury get up to do some poetry. Thank you all for coming out. Once you're here, we're every Monday. You can sign up for next week at Easy Paradise Mag.
Yellow.
Woo!
Yeah. I'm gonna do the thing and say nothing about the holiday tomorrow. Yeah. So this is one poem. It's a long poem, but honestly, I use this amazing, wonderful, weird as fuck open mic to do my longer poems because there is the luxury of time.
Yeah.
And a great audience. And this is also one of my happier poems. Yay! I am capable of it. Yeah. All right. It's called the Birthing Hymn. Go down to the river. The fish are flying and the banks have lowered to their knees. Go down to the river. It's singing in its current and the left-leaning shore has decided to move to Tahoe. Go down to the river, come back and tell Grandma where her silver lies buried and that you've seen the flowers sprouting from the back of her hairbrush. Go down to the river, peel your second skin off and offer it to Aphrodite who kissed it alive onto you, then wished you success in 7 sentences. Go up to the roof, the mountains are lonely and horny and want to watch you bathe in the descending sunlight. Go up to the roof, use the rusted chair tucked behind the barrier wall, climb up and then jump. The clouds are having family reunions and it's an open bar, my love. Go up to the roof. Spin your stories into a galaxy, leaving off the endings because there is no ending to space. Go up to the roof, come back, and tell Mama what the birds whisper to each other on the gravel ground and that you've seen them tracing ABCs into their wing patterns.
Go home to the ocean, place toes in its burning tide, and remember when it was icy, even in July. The sea lions are barking commands to the gulls. The jellyfish are crafting themselves into necklaces, bracelets, earrings, want you to bedeck yourself in their stinging jewels. Go home to the ocean. She is imparting wisdom on how to take up space, on the beauty of big and the power of endless. Go home to the ocean. Any beach is acceptable, and none will leave you aching for relief. They want to take you surfing on the backs of whales. Go home to the ocean, come back and tell Grandpa which pieces of him have lived inside the amorphous bodies of anemones, been swallowed by fish, taken on the sheen of rainbow scales, were born again in massive bones, and now travel into the days and nights effortlessly. Go away to the castle, paint the old wallpaper with your period blood, and yell with the teeth you grow into your eyes. Go away to the castle. The ghosts of royalty are crying, crying, crying at what they lost instead of what they willingly destroyed. Go away to the castle. Take hammers to cinder block and unearth the empty space that used to exist before the gates came up and turned pond to moat. Go away to the castle. Come back and tell Daddy why his dreams have grown splendid with lies, and you've seen why he tries to live inside them, instead of admitting they are rock-hewn buildings established on hilltops, meant to dictate the natural seasons of the natural world, molding unnatural rules into an unnatural body. Go low to the spring. The gemstones are whispering their love for you, for one another, for small miracles in hidden spaces. Go low to the spring. The siren song has begun to wind down the mountain, and the townspeople are in danger of merging to the hillside. Long naps, growing softer and quieter as they sink into the fairy slumber. Go low to the spring. Come back and tell your sister you saw where we was created, and it was dark and oozed and begged to be stroked, smelling oddly of eucalyptus and jasmine. Go low to the spring. Fall backwards into the hard surface that moves in eons. It welcomes all travelers, all life forms, all heartbeats, all piles of space dust meet. Go high to the bell tower. The wind is screaming life and needs an audience, thin one. He is an opera singer releasing the very first emotions to have ever existed inside a snow globe. Go high to the bell tower. Crawl inside the beaten metal core. Curl your tired body around the supple clapper. Swing in between the mighty vibrations of rolling frequencies. Go high to the bell tower. Come back and tell the child she was right. The sky was sending messages to her on the birds, in the clouds, among the streams, from the hollows of bricks. He was asking her to grow bigger than the ones who came before her. Go high to the bell tower. Let the moments of the years and decades and centuries crawl out of your memories and slide in multitudes down your cheeks, down the ancient stonework, into the thirsty mother. Let it all go in the height of just being the being you are. Go down to the river, come back from the shore. Go up to the roof, come back from the floor. Go home to the ocean, come back to the core. Go away to the castle, come back to the lore. Go low to the spring, come back to your pores. Go high to the bell tower, and come back reborn.
Phoebe Bradbury, everybody. That was great. Wonderful recitation. All right, let's get some comedy. Can we get Adiel K? Adiel K is going to come up and do some humor for everybody. Some jokes and witty repartee. So, thank you for coming out. I'm your host, Matt Proctor. We're here every Monday. What can I say? Thank you.
Your jacket's amazing.
Thank you so much. You look like you've been drafted by Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. It's stolen valor, everybody. It's stolen valor. Adiel K.
So give it up for your host, guys. Give it up for Matt. All this poetry has made me horny. Alright. Happy Valentine's Day Eve. Is anybody else celebrating Valentine's Day like it's Halloween tomorrow? Anybody else dressing up like the Hulk with Hulk hands? Seeing if you have a lucky chance to fist a lady by the end of the night, you know? I'm not into fisting, but if we get Hulk hands involved, I don't know. You kind of caught my curiosity there, you know what I mean? Thank you. I'll just. I don't know. I was kind of an antisocial kid. I was like really shy growing up. So I decided to do comedy because I didn't know how to talk to people like one-on-one. So I just thought, fuck it. Why don't I just get it all done with all at once in like a 5-minute span? You know what I mean? Like just get it all the way at once. I can go home, watch Netflix or whatever the fuck everybody does. But I decided to do that because like I didn't know how to talk to people, you know?
Yeah.
I didn't know how to talk to people and I was just shy. So I developed like a voice in my head of like when somebody would talk to me, I just developed a voice in my head of just what I thought of that person. I just realized to get over my shyness, I just need to say that voice out loud, you know? So like the other day, this guy comes up to me and he's talking about work or whatever. He goes, "Yeah, man, it sucks. I'm not gonna get paid till next week." And I was just like, "Damn, you suck." And then he looked at me weird, and I was just like, "I mean, damn, that sucks. Sucks for you, man." I work as a barista. Yeah, the other day I said barista and a heckler yelled out, "It's actually barista, you misgendered yourself." So fuck me. I work as a barista and I get a lot of smart people in my cafe. You get a lot of smart people in cafes, they're smart people. But like one of the luxuries I have in life is making smart people feel dumb. Like I think that's one of the funnest, I think that's one of the greatest things in life, is making smart people feel dumb, you know? Like this guy comes in, super smart. You know, he puts his card into the card reader, but it didn't go through. So I was just like, "Yeah, you gotta flip it." And he was just like, he flips it and it goes through, and he's just like, "Stupid." And I was just like, "Yeah, I've met some pretty smart people, but you're by far the dumbest motherfucker I've ever laid eyes on. Here's your coffee." I don't know, there's a lot of dummies in the world, you know? A lot of dummies in the world. There's CPR dummies. There's people that read books with the words "for dummies" in the title. There's dummies that just read books. But you know what my favorite dummy is of all time? Police dummies, because you can shoot them. You ever try shooting a wrestling dummy? It's not the same. Are you kidding me? They're dummies, guys. All right.
Fuck the police.
Thank you. Speaking of police dummies, though, I noticed all over New York, there's cops that like police always they always walk in pairs of two. You ever notice that? It's always like a guy cop and a guy cop, or a guy cop and a lady cop. It's never a lady cop and a lady cop, which I kind of find a little sexist, you know? But sometimes when I want to entertain myself and I see like a guy cop and a lady cop in the subway, I'll go up to the lady cop while pointing to the guy cop and I'll be like, "Is this guy bothering you?" And the guy cop will always be like, "I'm sorry, sir, is there a problem here?" And I'll be like, "I'm sorry, I was actually talking to her, not you. Can you just back up a little bit? You know you can do better than this guy, right?" Thank you. I'm actually looking for a roommate. Is anybody looking for a room? Yeah. Yeah, my roommates are like, "Have you posted on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist?" I was like, "Nah, I've just been hitting every open mic in the city to see if any comic needs shelter, you know?" It's a nice place though, you know, you can walk outside and see a bunch of rats carrying a flat screen TV down the sidewalk, you know, it's one of those places, you know? So if anyone's interested, you know where to find me after this. I do have a show. It's called The Do It Show. We have a show on the 15th at the Hole. It's in Dumbo. Feel free to follow me there. Have a great night, guys. Get up here. Say something.
Yeah, baby. That was great.
Adiel K, I love that comedy outfit. That trench coat is live as hell. That's like some Blade Runner shit. All right, can I get, fuck, here we go. Mallory Feuer. Is Mallory Feuer in the house? For some music? I think we're gonna get some music for everybody. Thank you all for coming out. We got a lot of great entertainment left. We're just getting started. We are. We have so much amazing talent. It's crazy. We're in New York. I mean, it's everybody is a superstar genius. So you can check out my YouTube. I have a YouTube. I post. I'm filming the event for artistic purposes.
Hey, dude. Really, dude. Yeah. You know what the school shooting is. Yeah, I couldn't, man.
That's alright, man. That's no problem. Thanks for coming. I appreciate you. It was sick.
Sorry.
Get more of it here, huh?
Tatyana? No. I'm just going to be coming in and out like this. If you could sit maybe there, that would be fine. Yeah. I'm actually making a movie.
Yeah, maybe you.
Woo! Yeah!
So I'm Mallory. My last name is feuer. It's a little weird. It's German.
Nice.
Yeah, the funny part of not knowing when you're getting up. But this song's like about 2.5 minutes, so I can help you.
Yeah!
Are you getting any guitar?
There it is. Alright, let's see.
Indoctrinating entertainment. It's a one-way conversation. Every brand wants advertisements. Money selling violence, inflicting injury on TV.
Yeah!
Victory trophy. Number 6 living across the screen. It's a picture of masculinity. I don't understand it, but I see it every day. Mindless participation.
Yeah, baby.
The unrelenting emptiness. Fill the void with anything. Reading meanings laced with
Thank you.
Hell yeah.
I have a band called the Grasping Straws, if you want to know more about it. We're going to release our album March 7th at Mercury Lounge.
Yeah.
Grasping Straws.
Grasping
So it's like grasping at straws, but just no ads.
Mallory Feuer. Is that right? Is that right? Feuer. Mallory Feuer, everybody. Thank you. That was beautiful. I love that guitar. All right, I think we're going to keep going with the music. Can we get Jeffrey Lewis to come up? Jeffrey Lewis is going to come up and play some tunes for us, everybody. The open mic is just getting started. We've got a lot of really interesting stuff, and after midnight is when it gets great, so stick around.
How late does it go till?
1, usually. So we're like not even halfway done, basically. Or like, you know, almost halfway. So it gets weird and interesting. Not that weird, it doesn't get that weird. Big round of applause for Jeffrey Lewis, everybody.
So I try to write a new song every week if I can, but then often what happens is it's just a few hours before an open mic. I still haven't done my weekly songwriting homework, and then I finally write a song, and then I go to an open mic, and then I see like 20 or 30 other performers before I play, and then I forget how the song goes. So also, I have some of my CDs and some comic books that I drew. They're all $5 each. I often forget to announce that. My name's Jeffrey Lewis, and here's a new song, if I remember.
Woo!
Yeah. She likes $20 wine. Her tastes go $8 more than mine. Now what's so bad about the thoughts this brings? And what's $6 in the scheme of things? I gotta say, judge not, lest thou get judged thyself, when I see her looking through that $20 shell. Now I'm just a bit confused on how this makes me feel. It's a tiny dollar difference, not a huge reveal. Is it just a circumstantial, meaningless decision, or a fundamental barrier of class division? When I was a starving artist, I just couldn't know. I never asked, is that a Malbec or a Grigio? But I built a cool career up, and now here we are. But the $20 shelf is still a bridge too far. She likes $20 wine. She taps her credit card and signs the dotted line. Now what's so sad about the thoughts this brings? And what's $6 in the scheme of things? I gotta say, judge not, lest thou get judged thyself, when I see her looking through that $20 shelf.
Yeah!
She's quite a special lady, and I'm glad we've met. It's depressing texting strangers on the internet. Now we've had some weeks of dating and we're buying wine. Now I'm finding out her planet's not the same as mine. I got $10 to $15 and I think that's nice. That just seems completely normal and I don't think twice. To me, I'm living large, to her, I'm living small. I mean, to me, it just feels classy buying wine at all. She likes $20 wine, limited organic batches, that's a warning sign. You can say that I'm a recluse or a basket case, but this section of the wine store is a scary place. But I say, judge her not, lest I get judged myself, when I see her looking through that $20 shelf. I go 12 or more, but at 16 I stop. And that's an $18 bottle, cause there's tax on top. In Manhattan or in Brooklyn or in Jackson Heights, I say that ought to be sufficient for romantic nights. Now she doesn't even like a $16 bottle, but I'm not a superstar, she's not a fashion model. And I thought, great, we can relate, we can have a kid, I'll have a wife. Now for the sake of $7, I just can't see that life. Cause she likes $20 wine. I gave this my best shot, but I just can't keep trying. When you looked me in the eyes, I saw a life of love, sharing $15 wines and not a buck above. I know they say judge not, lest thou get judged thyself, but the buck stops at the $20 and over shelf. She was creative, and she was brilliant, and she was looking fine. But a dating app should filter for fancy schmancy wine.
Jeffrey Lewis, everybody. Get the comics, get the CDs, buy the merch. The merch is in the powder room. My books are back there. You know, if people want to set up some t-shirts or sell whatever you want, you know, you got DVDs, CDs, whatever you got, can openers, lighters, whatever you sell with your branded merchandise. We know. One more time for Jeffrey Lewis, everybody. Living legend. We're stoked to have him here at the open mic. You never knew who you're going to see at the, what's that? Yeah! Alright. We got some more poetry coming at you. Can we have a big round of applause for Terry Nguyen, one of our favorites. One of our favorites here. Great writer. She writes for, what is it, Dirt FM?
The outfit.
Oh my god, thank you. Hi everyone. I love $20 wine. Unless it's in Europe, then we can go all price points.
Okay.
The first poem is inspired by Matt. I'm doing a thing where I'm trying to write poems like people I admire or the poets I'm around. And this one is called Emotional Science Project. People have too much sex in novels and not enough in poems. They just stay naked and cry. The joint looked anorexic, and I puffed enough times, and now I'm skateboarding a fat high. Rihanna is America's last diva. Damn, it really is going to shit. The country is in shambles. The sky is too feminine these days. Baby pink, and wearing less cloud clothes to go out at night. Throw is a funny verb. Did you know potters throw clay? Like baseball. Did you know? I'm trying to use less prepositions. Cut the with at the at. I'm failing, but a virgin propositioned me on Friday. I said no thanks. I'm saving myself for my baby daddy. I'm allergic to lamb and corny objects of affection. Every day I email a man from Florida a poem. His texts go green. I got him to read Alice Notley. Florida man writes and reads philosophy. He posts his dog a lot, so I'm not sure if he's hot or if his mind is. He also has a heart condition. When a novel plot comes true, is the writer a mystic? In that case, he's David Blaine, and I'm Simone Weil. The death card is never about death, or at least I hope not. Sleep is 20, 69 is sex turned infinity sideways, 4 is luck, existence is a Fibonacci sequence, then what about forever? Also, happy Valentine's Day. These are kind of love poems. I think every poem is a love poem. This one is called Slime of the Small World. Rumor has it a new world is becoming. All the men are doing the talking. I am waiting for the new world on a subway platform, hearing talk about disruption, transformation, disturbances. Too many flies trying to suckle the golden tit. The men want more, ambition to scale. They always want more. a ladder to Mars. The messages don't reach me in the old world where Hockney paints on his iPad and Bowie soundtracks every movie trailer. Anyway, the new world is an old dream. In it, your eyes crinkle like radio static, and I am staying tuned. My ears are parched, my eyes stuffed. My proclivities are Marxist, but my parents starved under communism, so I trade in ideas, luxuriate in the champagne socialist economy of big words. It's impossible to be a true Marxist and wear a fur coat, a poetry reading, and have men buy me martinis and count credit card points like blessings. Nothing in the sky today but contrails where the aliens hide, and the shy blue that is our private language, the entrails of cleaved distances left between us. I've departed from your orange wine embrace. Now what? I struggle seeing beyond the horizon of our extended skin contact. Our talk, a subtle dialect of planes, their nervous rumble easily intercepted. Don't doubt the Bluetooth wave particles, just fucking missionary. I text the sixth plane and I'm airdropped a blurry scrotum. I wish to understand but fly defiant, a ship cruising on an angel's smoky wings. A man asked me what I needed and I said nothing. Everything I can get from this world and nothing from people in it. If Jesus spent 40 nights without food, a day is a dewdrop to a puddle. I don't eat breakfast because it gets me closer to God. To go hungry is to retreat into oneself. Disappear into the soulless desert that Baudrillard says it needs sacrifice. So bring to the desert a victim, a woman. If something has to disappear, something matching the desert for beauty, why not a woman? Like that girl in my hometown who got lost in Joshua Tree and was shot by her boyfriend in double sacrifice. I occasionally leave to test my attachments. To love me is to play a long game of hide and go seek. Once you fucked a man who owns Aesop soap, you can never go backwards. Same thing goes for the desert.
Yeah!
This last one is a list poem.
Yeah.
Is anyone on a field? I'm not on any dating apps anymore, but this was from my brief, unfortunate time there. It's called Bio. Bio. 35, man, heteroflexible, single in New York core, 6'3", dominant gentleman, fit and fun entrepreneur turned cryptocurrency investor turned influencer. Loves foreplay, acai bowls, banter, sensual dates, art house films, Netflix and chill, Animal Crossing, effective altruism, Zen Buddhism, breathwork, succulents, sunshine, rain, real estate, digital real estate, Bitcoin, being open-minded, laughing. Listens to Joe Rogan, likes Louis C.K., Matt Levine, Gary V., Gary Snyder, Wong Kar-wai, hiking, skiing, wrestling, fishing, microdosing, meditating, ice baths, saunas, Thai massages, Asians, Chinese food, Jews, fine dining, Fernet, park hangs, exploring foreign cities, Disneyland Paris, Miami, Bali, Lisbon, Tokyo, Qatar, Venice Biennale, surrealism, minimalism, hip-hop, Drake, Kanye, but only from 2003 to 2021, DJs, BLM, ENM, GGG, FWB, LSD, DND, DDLG, BYOB, CDMX, CHAZ, ChatGPT, Chads, Shivs, Spliffs, Jules, Monte Cristos, Don Julio, Grey Goose, Canada Goose, Snow Days, Rainy Days, Sunny Days, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, Indigenous Peoples Day, St. Patrick's Day, Monday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday Night Football, 3-ways, 4-ways, 4-day work weeks, first day of April, September, August, March Madness, basketball, football, baseball, pickleball, Formula One, Faulkner, Dostoevsky, trivia, theater, tarot, Scorpios, Leos, Virgo moons, Sailor Moon, anime, hentai, shibari, clean eating, bulking, rimming, finger fucking, teasing, edging, pussy worship, anal sex, voyeurism, orgies, omakase, Xanax, aftercare, Chemex coffee, Australian shepherds, private jets, first class travel, masterclass, journaling, Ashtanga yoga, radical empathy, Burning Man, therapy, daydreaming, Inception by Christopher Nolan, movies, and he's dreaming of a better world.
It's too real. The Lisp poem is too real. Get on Field, everybody. It's a threesome app. I'm a sponsored. I'm a paid promoter. Get on Field. Have a threesome tonight. You can just swipe. All right. Let's get Bray Sunshine up to do some poetry for us, everybody. Bray Sunshine.
Alright, so I'm a freestyle poet.
Yeah.
And usually when I come to open mics, I love gauging the audience. But since it's Valentine's Day and everything is kind of either crappy or either decent, I want to just go with that flow, with the decent concept. Decent. My mind is like a dungeon. I'm trapped. I look all around me, and all I can see is the rust, the walls, the ceiling, and the bars that separates me from the outside world. I'm here. I am planted. And yet, somehow, I'm so detached from the world outside my own peripheral. My eyesight can see, I can feel the wind, yet I'm back in my dungeon. Life seems to just go by, one day at a time, to a week, to the months. Love seems like something you can attain 1 minute and then the next is gone. It seems to so constantly be a decent concept. I'm at my dungeon, and the best thing to do is just scribble on my paper, fold it up, and then put it in a bottle. Then I imagine myself going to the sea, placing it gently, and just and the waves push it. To and fro. It don't matter where it goes. At this time in my life, I just accept pen pals and let people talk to me even though I don't know who they are. If they catfish me, great. Because at least I got someone to talk to. That's what love seems nowadays. I'm back in my dungeon. It's okay. I'm safe there. No one can harm me because I'm just observing. I can accept the rust, I can accept the crust of the ceilings and how it falls down, because at least I know that's real. And that's a fact. That's it.
Brace Sunshine, everybody. You made that up on the spot. Fantastic. I love it, man. Hell yeah. That was awesome. More freestyling, everybody. If you want to freestyle, please. We welcome it. This is the Super Bowl halftime show the whole time. You're all Rihanna tonight. Is she, her, Yar, and Caesar here? She, her, Yar, and Caesar. Are you out there? They left. I'm sorry. Fuck. Okay. Well, let's get. Can we get Leah up?
Debasery.
Debasery. I'm so sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a big round of applause for Debasery.
you use the Lana Del Rey mic?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, my name is Valerie. Woo! I'm gonna read 2 poems for you. I didn't hear like all the way up there. Carrot. Carrot.
Yeah.
Carrot. Okay. The first one's called I Love the Smell of Doggy Diarrhea. It's just that simple. I came home to a hurricane. I wanted to have a hurricane party, but instead I came home to flying bricks and destruction. One flying brick came flying towards me, and I bent my body away like crazy, but I wasn't so lucky when the next flying brick came flying towards me. My face shattered, broken teeth, busted lip, bleeding eyes, and a concussion so severe I wasn't allowed to go outside for 2 years. I wanted to be a girl again, ride things, like bikes, and be small, welcomed into opened arms, and be handed a most coveted guidebook on how to be. I longed for a girl who could come inside me and play me like a puppet, with hands so merciful she wouldn't rip the splitting threads holding my family together. We may not have it all together, but together we have it all, she would have said. Just come back and we can watch scary movies, and you can pretend to be my girl, and I'll pretend to play with your beautiful hair. I obliged, obviously. But the hurricane absolutely wrecked the fuck out of my body, but kind of built me a new one. That's kind of lit, I said. I licked clean the wounds, the bricks split all over my body, and sealed them up with doggy diarrhea, not letting a single drop go to waste. I guess these are the kinds of things that happen when you go home. But I got lucky. No infection grew, just my infatuation with you.
Yeah!
Alright, the next one is called I Had My Password Stolen. If you didn't insert the metal tip into your buckle, that's your problem in the event of rough air. I'm flying sky high and was assigned a seat in between 2 people who should be flirting while I'm detecting a whiff of vomit in the recycled air. Nasty. Anxiety-induced shits are always effortless. It comes out like water and can be easily wiped clean. I drank an Aquafina water bottle and got canceled. You lost your job and have ocean eyes. Mobby, Bobby, Braun, and Drake. I want to learn where everything lives in your cabinets, and I'll make myself large for you, churro. I hand out my email for coupon codes that I'll never use, like it's nobody's business. That's probably why I got a notification this morning that my password was a part of a huge data leak. The password, which I will now share with you, was I love Justin Bieber 123. Now you can log into my Google Docs and see the hundreds of cover letters that never led anywhere. Who here will push me until I loosen up and experimentally dabble in using my assertion and experiment with mind-altering substances that will make me forget to steam my clothes the night before I wear them? It'll be me, and my campaign slogan is Less Meek 2023. I'm not meek around people I love, quite the opposite actually. It's astounding and horrible. I was more sad than anxious when I found out about my password. That was mine, goddammit. It's seen me through all of my transitions. Can't I just have it back? I am talking directly to you. Can't you forget about the particular way I chose to arrange words and numbers and not hold me to it? I'm stretching myself and smiling for everyone, and that unpaid labor is getting old. Okay.
The bakery, everybody. This is wonderful. The doggy diarrhea poems. I love it. Can we get Cassandra Ray Cruz? Is Cassandra Ray Cruz still here to do some tunes for us? Once again, thank you for hanging out. Have a good time. Socialize. The powder room's back there. You plug in or?
Hey. I'm Cass. This is also somebody, I think it was the comedian, that said that this was the second open mic at KTV ever. So this is kind of like a Valentine's Day song, but it's like sad and depressing. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cassie.
Cassandra Ray Cruz, everybody. Cassandra. Wait, can we get the poet Billy Lamont? Is the poet Billy Lamont still here? Did they leave? Okay. He's here, okay. Here he comes. Billy Lamont, everybody. We're stoked to have him. Do you want to use the Chris Isaac microphone? Or? Okay. Make yourself at home, have a great time. We're just getting started.
Man, so many excellent artists here. I'm just so honored to be here. I'm poet Billy Lamont, and I'm going to do something from my latest book, Words Ripped from Soul Still Bleeding, Poems for the Future Edition. And there's a poem in there. It's a 40-minute poem that's a multimedia performance poem. I'm going to edit it down to 5 minutes for you today. It's about a character traveling, emotion paralyzed, and through 7 different lives to love. And being this Valentine's Day, I'm going to edit this together and see how this goes, and I hope you like it. And I paint your portrait in my mind and hang it in the gallery of light. Woo. Neon light. America, your lies are like a mist I can't see through. My tears are a waterfall in this river of blood. I am transparent. My heart is made of glass. And the truth is fireworks going off in the sky. And the guiding lighthouse is the poet's eye. Strobe light. Yeah. An adult lies in a fetal position in a strobe light generation, addicted to dreams of midnight impulses and sugar passions, screaming, "My bedroom a jail cell! My bedroom a jail cell!" A baby left in city traffic getting fitted for a mental straitjacket. A sunflower with a snake at its root. A cherry tree that needs to bear fruit. Metaphysical visions of a paraplegic soul. Metaphysical visions of a paraplegic soul. Spotlight. I love you. I love you. I love you from the bottom of my current frame of reference. Deep commitment. Of course, in a few years, I could have a new preference. I love you. Microwave romance. And working slave all day. Family times are too few. Haiku, a cuckoo. Look at me cross-eyed or unkindly and I'll sue. Haiku, a cuckoo. Do not tell the truth, hide it, whatever you do. Haiku, a cuckoo. I talk to myself and never listen to you. Say this with me. Haiku, a cuckoo. Say this with me. Haiku, a cuckoo. Haiku, a cuckoo. Oh no, I shouldn't have drank all this water before this long car ride. I wanna pee. Onomatopoeia. That's my onomatopoeia. I want to pee, onomatopoeia. I guess you could call me earthly spiritual, a beautiful mess. Simply a huge oxymoron am I. Moonlight. Night. Television red paint slowly drips down the pale, expressionless mannequin face. We were all parhelia, bright-colored spots of light on a solar halo. The scapegoat of your miseries, baptized with tears, salt and light, sweating blood in the name of love in the endless black tunnel we call night. For the late Allen Ginsberg, who showed love and support for my work by letting me sample from Hal while he was still living, my first album with Mike Peters at the alarm, Hal. I saw the best minds of my generation destroyed by madness, starving, hysterical, naked, dragging themselves through the Negro streets at dawn, looking for an angry fix. Angel-headed hipsters burning for the ancient heavenly connection to the starry dynamo in the machinery of night. And America, this is no Kurt Cobain suicide, because sometimes I feel as if your soul has already died. Candlelight. Soul metamorphosis. Crucifixion and resurrection. A poet that is a poem, a creation that can create. The subconscious. Sunlight. Love conquers hate. Love conquers hate. Sunlight. It's a new day filled with new life. A spiritual fetus spins in a whirlpool of color, a myriad of revelations, open eyes, open eyes, open eyes. A baby's first breath, an old man's death, circle of ashes, circle of dust. So may your very soul be a great poem. Our life is a message. A poet that is a poem, a creation that can create, a string of pearls, pearls of words.
Words are art. Art is imagination. Imagination is creation. Creation is life. Life is experience. Experience is wisdom. Wisdom is love. Love is a string of pearls. Ultraviolet light, the last poem for Valentine's Day. You know, this is my little bit of a romantic poet. A sonnet for the sea. This is for you because you've been an excellent, good to see you tonight. Excellent talking with everybody. Yeah, baby. A sonnet for the sea. The wind whispers with wonder in seashells I never find, as love screams like thunder and swims to the shore of my mind. The passion within the ocean fills kisses, streams of consciousness, as the seed of creation spills and splashes in your loveliness. The mystery of the mountain is the light in sunshine, as I bathe naked in your fountain and drink from your lips of wine. Thank you, you've been so awesome. Your beauty is like the sea, waves that comfort me. I'm hoping a little my love life to you.
The poet Billy Lamont, everybody. Fantastic. Physicalizing with the howl. Wonderful. Thank you for coming out. One more time for the poet Billy Lamont. All right, we're going to have Ingrid Jacobsen come up, and then after that, Mo David. Mo David is on deck. So Ingrid Jacobsen, everybody, great poet with the bomb threat poems on Saturday night. Who knows what tonight will bring? Ingrid Jacobsen.
Hey guys, give it up for Matt Proctor. Thank you, everyone. Okay, I'm nervous. This is my first time. This is maybe my second time. This one's called Bomb Threat. So at this point, I have to take the poem out. It's not like this nuke is nervous of parallel parking while people are watching. It's not like this warhead worries its pretty little over things said and done 2 days, 10 years ago. It's not like this agent of destruction ahas through therapy, synapting intuitives in its frigid frontal lobe to multi-parent predilections. Earlier poets got to be in metaphors with the moon, got to projectile all over its quiet, inert surface, plant flags in it, paint their patron's girl in it, piss and pass under it, while their subject loved us in dependable circles. Tucking in the tide, even after we wrote the moon out of time, peeled the news from the paper. Now, we've got our moon makers in more terrestrial constellations, and the poem stands opposite terms of service agreeers, non-fiction non-finishers, a code hidden in the heart of a knife-carrying innocent to our right. And we are all presidents, and we are all puppets on Big Being's tiny stage, bobbing against our conjured foe, working our offering, poker table promise. If your blast radius is but a stitch of fabric in a quilt of arms, patched by a diplomat's tender embroidery, who through his tips and pricks, bloodlets, just a few blocks, just a demarcated possibility, then I will make mine so big, then I will pull the pin from all the fear and live anyway, and laugh anyway, and love anyway. Mushroom cloud of my being, bloom to dust the edge of yours, wherein glows the ether, burst stars replicating. Trust me, to the bottom of the poem, I am certain we'll make it out alive. Okay, this one's for Valentine's Day. It's called Shall There Be No Other Breezes? Is it horrible that everyone across the planet will, at the same time, feel a breeze? Your ex?
Your mother, as she picks up and puts down a stone fruit in the last open air market of the season. The person your mother was gently last touched by before the pollinator of you. The person who carts away your trash, stitches your t-shirts, hands you a warm cup or a cold one. Global interconnected supply chain of love. I know it seems invasive or rude to regard the gross love product. Funny idea here, national income. Yes, it seems rude to regard the erotic eventualities of our peripheral disconnects, and scary to survey those of our past, present, future partners, those who have given their part to us, Adam, Rib, Eve, yuck. Well, for the sake of this poem, it's all right to do. For poetic purposes only, we can contemplate all the love in the world, everyone getting it and everyone giving it. Two sweaty lovers return to earth, gaze out window to check as if they were able to unzip the tent flap of the universe, peek head, and find if what they had called to was there the whole time.
Ingrid Jacobsen, everybody. Double fisting. You might want to try it. Let's get Mo David up, everybody. One of our favorites. The great Mo David. Mo David's Blues.
What's up, what's up? How's it going? Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Woo! Holy shit. I love love. One of the things I love about love is how you don't need to talk in a super complicated way about it for it to really hit. When you're sad, you need someone to describe the intricacies of grief to you, right? You need Joan Didion describing the 366th day after your husband of 35 years has died, when you wake up and you can't reach for the memory of what you were doing one day ago. But when you're in love, you turn on the radio and someone's like, "We never go out of style." And you're like, holy shit. That is seriously so true. We don't. I have a very simple piece of writing about love. It's from a book called Night Stroll that I made a few years ago. It's full of love stories and love poems. So I'm going to read from it tonight.
Yeah.
I woke up at 3 a.m. on the first warm night of the year. A breeze wandered lazily through the open window and swept across the highest elevations of my face. And I realized with a sudden crushing urgency that I know nothing of love. Nothing at all. So I asked my mother, "Ma, what do you know of love?" And she said, "Honey, every day I put on this polyester shirt and I drive that bus up and down Broadway. I open and close the door, I stop and go at the lights, and I have nothing to stare at except my own hands on the wheel. All I know about is hard work." I asked my grandpa, "Opa, what do you know of love?" And he said, "I've been watching the wind destroy and rebuild these dunes for the last 40 years. I try over and over to paint them, but my canvas never looks like the beach. The watercolors never capture the water's color. The brush strokes cannot become the clouds, and still every morning I make another attempt. I know that love is elusive. It drifts like sand in the breeze." I asked the poet, "Sir, what do you know of love?" And he said, "I'm like you. I sit alone all day and set to work at night, weaving the fine thread of my brain across a loom. I make tapestries of my intestines. I have dedicated my life to taking myself apart. I thought I was studying from a distance, but my solitude has only made me ignorant. You've come to the wrong place. There is nothing I know of love." I asked the cellist, "Excuse me, what do you know of love?" And she said, "Night after night, I sit before hundreds of people and I hug my instrument. I stare only at the spotlight. My hands no longer need my eyes to find their way. I cradle the neck of my life's work and I pull the bow back and forth across its weary strings until I can't tell which one of us is crying. Maybe love is a song played without looking." I asked the biomedical engineer, "Doctor, what do you know of love?" She said, "I hold the very soul of all living things in my hands. I study and sketch and dissect them. I long ago lost count of how many times I've picked apart the person. I stare through a microscope until atoms look like planets, until the whole universe is on my table. I spend my days trying to satisfy questions that I sometimes worry have no answer. Maybe that's what you're looking for. Maybe that's what I know of love. I asked the man who claims to love me, "What do you know of love?" And he said, "It's 3 a.m. Let's talk about this tomorrow." And he exhaled into the first warm night of the year, and the wind kept spinning across the blanket, and I thought to myself, what do I know? What do I know of love? Thank you so much.
Mo David's got Night Stroll there. Check out Night Stroll from Mo David, everybody. All right, let's get some comedy going. Can we get Ben Callahan up to do some jokes for us? Who's ready to laugh? I know... This guy's seriously very funny, everybody. Ben Callahan.
Give it up for Matt, everybody. Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's do it. Roses are red, violets are blue. Thanks, Matt. I got an anger problem. Yeah. Bad temper, but I don't have the body that allows me to have a bad temper. You know what I mean? I can't be walking around like, fuck you, man, you know? I get destroyed. So I gotta keep it inside. You guys ever get in fights with inanimate objects? Right? By the way, the inanimate object always wins. Okay? Never pick a fight with a wall, is what I've learned. But the other day I was walking with a cup of coffee and the lid was a little bit loose. And it burnt me, you know? So I started like freaking out on it, like yelling at it, torturing it. Like, huh, you want to keep talking, motherfucker? Like pouring out a little bit, you know? It's fucking bizarre. It's crazy. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let's see. I don't get this. I don't get when girls say don't stop when they're having sex. You know, it's like, don't stop, don't stop. So why would I stop at this point, you know? Who the fuck stopped and now they're nervous about that? Who was the guy, who was the douchebag who stopped? I want to fucking know. It's one of you, isn't it? I actually did stop and I said, why would you even say that? I had to stop and ask, you know? It pissed me off. Unbelievable. It's true, it's a true story. You guys ever think about this? Like, a bunch of old people died during COVID. I know it's a morose subject. It's Valentine's Day. I don't want to bring it down, but and they died in the hospital over. They had to say goodbye over Zoom. You know what I mean? There had to be a couple that were having technical difficulties. You know what I mean? Like, Grandpa, you're on mute. Oh my God! Just press the thing with the line, and oh, he's gone. He's gone. All right. It's all right. Nobody talk about this. Grandpa died. He's like trying to give his whole will. We're like, okay. The Wi-Fi in the hospital is like cutting in and out. It's a nightmare. It's really, we got to be better prepared next pandemic for this type of stuff, you know? All right. Hey. Hey, guys. I'm delirious after, I feel like I'm on acid with all this stuff. Am I alone here? Yeah. All right. Let's keep going. I'm trying to do a morning routine. You guys don't have routines, right? Let's be real. We have no, exactly. It's good, you know. Okay, well, this is what I have so far. I'm working on it. Okay, I'm working on it. The first thing I do in the morning, I jerk off. That's non-negotiable for me personally. After that, actually, it's just kind of improv right now. I don't have anything else going on. Yeah. Jerking off over here, jerking off. You know, it's a lot of jerking off. It's right. I try to do no fap, which is when you try not to jerk off, you know? And it was weird. I got 2 days was my record. This is true. 2 fucking days, folks. And it ended in the worst way. I went to go sit down, and my hand just kind of brushed my dick. And I was like, oh shit. Oh, it's over. It's right. I turned like Terminator. My eyes turned out. I'm like, just automatic response. No control. No fucking control. Unbelievable. Let's see. Have you guys heard of Mr. Beast? You know what's going on with this guy? Yeah. He's a viral YouTuber who's curing the blind. Like, that's his new thing. Which, is that what Jesus would be if he came down in the modern day? just a guy on YouTube doing miracles for likes. How depressing is that? And it would be what it would be. And everyone said, if Jesus came down now, everyone says everyone would believe in him because we have mass community. I don't think so. I think he would have a hard time getting in the algorithm. I think his disciples would be like, have you tried a different hashtag? I don't know, dude. I don't fucking know. Judas, you have any ideas? No, he's gone. Hey. What's he up to? We don't even know. He would do clickbait, I think. He would be like, crucified at the zoo this week. Just fucking trying anything. People would troll him online. They would be like, Muhammad's better, you fucking hippie. They would call him slurs. I'm just saying, on the internet, they would call Jesus slurs. I'm not going to say which ones, but we all have an idea. I was thinking about dildos the other day, because you know what? I got a lot of fucking free time on my hands, okay? I've been here for 4 hours. I don't even know what's going on. But I was thinking about dildos. I love all you people. I really do. I was thinking about dildos, and they have the penises and the vaginas now. They have, it's very advanced what they have. And I was thinking, there's got to be one guy that just plays with them as action figures. He has no idea there's anything to do with sex. He's just in his room, having fun. And it's definitely not me. I'm just saying, this is a different guy. This is not me. Okay. All right, I'm going to leave you with this. Despite the amount of porn I watch, I still can't spell amateur. It's weird though, because I can spell child perfectly fine. Is that just... Oh, come on. Don't be king shaming me. I've heard what people have been saying up here. Come on. That's nothing. Okay, thank you, Matt. I love you, Matt. Thank you.
Ben Callahan and I have been at open mics at the Producers Club, and there is literally nobody else there. So we are blood brothers, man. I will always go to bat for you, man. Ben Callahan, everybody. Comedy in the trenches. All right, this next reader, we're super excited. She's all the way from Montreal. She's a super talented artist, filmmaker. Can we have Moraine come up and do some poetry for us? Let's have a big round of applause for Moraine. Thank you for hanging out. Get some more drinks, everybody. We're partying all night.
Hey, so I have one poem for tonight. When I was a kid, I wanted to kill myself. I looked online and found an article on Google explaining the 10 best ways to kill yourself. I tried some of them. I cut myself, but I stopped because it was too painful. I tied a scarf around my neck to suffocate to death during my sleep. But I woke up still alive and happy with a beautiful Pashima. I tried to drown in the bath, but I couldn't breathe, so I stopped. I swallowed a lot of pills all at once. I don't remember anything. My father told me I jumped up and down on my brother's bed. And then I went downstairs to sleep on the couch. I threw up the next day and was sick for a week. I tried to make a second attempt, but I couldn't swallow pills anymore. My body wanted to vomit just looking at them. So I took them to school, and at lunchtime I hid in a park and crushed my pills and mixed them in the spaghetti from my thermos. Don't do this option. It's disgusting. I couldn't eat enough spaghetti to kill myself. My father may not be a good father, but he makes a fucking good spaghetti. And I disrespect him that day. Not only I was unable to eat enough spaghetti to kill myself, I was unable to enjoy my favorite dish for the rest of my life. Defeated, I went back to the first option, cutting myself. But this time in the bath. It was like a good fusion cuisine. A little bit of sweet, a little bit of sour. I went into the bath with a knife in my hand, but I wasn't cutting. There was something so powerful about holding a knife but not cutting. It's like holding a cigarette all day but never smoking it. Tonight I felt nostalgic for that time when my life was dedicated to dying. So I wrote this poem in my bath with my computer in one hand and a knife in the other. Thank you.
Yes! Lorraine, everybody, that was phenomenal. I loved it. Somebody's got to publish that. There's somebody out there with a magazine. Just publish it right now. Yeah, you're right. Maybe I'll put that on my... All right, can we get Ricardo Montero up to do some poetry for us, everybody?
Damn, I really wanted the old-timey mic.
Oh, we can do it.
Oh, for real? Oh, I bet. Beautiful. All right, what's up, everybody? I'm Ricardo Montero.
Yeah.
I'm a journalist by day, and to cope, I'm a poet by night. And on the eve of Valentine's Day, I have 3 love poems for you about 3 different kinds of love.
Yeah.
Okay, this is called In Another Borough. The F train to Brooklyn means something new to me now. I sit there looking for you. I just sit there and I think I hear your voice, or see your curves in the tracks. I sit there and the sun bounces on your curls. I just sit there and wait, speeding downtown into your arms. Thank you.
Yes.
Second kind of love. I turned it off by mistake. This is called New Year's. I'm on the train heading back from my mother's. I made her a promise a long time ago. When the year dies, we would attend together its funeral. I will leave whatever party, no matter how fun, to give her a hug that will last 2 years. A hug that hovers over every single day, above the stratosphere and through the ocean, over the arguments and under the moon. I have done this enough times now to feel her touch, once her years are no longer new. Thank you.
Yeah.
And this one is about a friend who just left to the Philippines. It's called Control to Jordan, Over. My friend, in the days since your departure, I've thought about how tall you are. At parties and clubs, I look for your head for comfort, like a compass looks at north. I see you glide through the crowd and your hair swings this way and that way, and you laugh big, and then you smoothly put your drink down on the table. It is, in my most humble opinion, a magnificent sight. You shake the very atoms of every place you enter, and carry that electricity in your fingertips. It is an energy that needs no translation. Now you're in the Philippines. Now your motherland is talking to you directly. But it's okay not to look her in the eyes for a while. Feel her heartbeat. Listen to her complaints. Let her treat you to dinner. It is okay to fear her. We all fear our mothers to a certain extent. Listen to your ancestors who were born there and died there. You will be shocked by how many things you do every day belong to Manila. You wonder what your mother felt on her first week in America. Hope? Incomprehensible fear? A daunting sense of duty? Yes, yes, and yes. Have fun, my love. I am going to put all of her, 1 second. I'm going to put up all the correspondence in a Google Drive. Years from now, reading your first email from the Philippines will make me get emotional, and my voice will break. And it will take me I will take a breath to think about how tall you are, and the jasmine you leave behind as you glide through the crowd. Thank you. Ricardo.Montero H on Instagram. Thank you very much.
Ricardo Montero, everybody. Who's in the mood for love? Nobody. Okay. Let's get, is Grace Leishman here? Let's get Grace Leishman up.
I'm a middle child. Do we have any other middle children in the room? Woo! Okay, so middle children. Hold on, did any older children need anything? The younger children? You guys okay? What was I talking about? There's this idea that middle children are neglected, right? And that's not the case for me. Both of my parents came to a show last weekend, and it was a pleasure to finally meet them. I was like, she has my eyes. I'm the middle of three. I have an older sister named Sarah. She's in sales. And then I have a younger brother named Alec. He was a mistake. He's 7 years younger than me. And my mom had him when she was 42. Which is technically disgusting. They had to bring a specialist in for the birth. Yeah, someone who could stomach old pussy. My parents also put me in the middle a lot because they're the opposite ends of the political spectrum. Like my mom's a Democrat and my dad is angry. I have yet to meet a jovial Republican. One that's like, don't tread on me, but only because I'm ticklish. No, my dad was angry. He was like, immigrants are stealing our jobs. I was like, you mean Maria, my nanny? Are you upset she's stealing your seat at my piano recital? He's like, she's not paying taxes. I'm like, she's paying attention, though. I'm a good person. During the pandemic, I applied to answer the suicide hotline. The suicide prevention hotline. I don't think there's another one. What would that be like? Do it. No, I applied to answer the suicide prevention hotline. So I'm a good person, and I'll give my time. They gave me a call back, and they said, we regret to inform you that you did not get the position. I was like, could you connect me with the person that did? I did just get a new job this year. Thank you so much. I did get a job. Thank you so much. I'm a cop. I'm kidding. Can you imagine a woman with a gun? No, I did get a new job though, and we had a safety training. And the guy running the training goes, "Women, listen up. Because in an emergency, you are slow and dramatic." I know. I was like, oh, that's terrible, Ethan! I ride the subway, obviously, and I realized that they have advertisements on the subway, which is insane to me. Like, you think I have money? Just paid $2.75 to ride a hot box for 45 minutes. One of the ads was for female vitamin subscriptions. It was like, I can't afford actual medicine. I got a UTI last week. I just bought cranberry flavored Italian ice. I do think that some of the subways are catching on though, because I rode a subway today and the ad just said, "Are you addicted to heroin?" I was like, warmer. I also ride the bus, and I was on the bus to a show. There was a couple behind me, And they walked around me, and a woman turned to me and she said, "Could you pull the string for us? We're not bus people." And I was like, "Sure. 'Cause I am." And I removed my iPad and I put my cigarette out on my tongue. And I grabbed my rat from my pocket and I had the rat pull the string for me. Thank you so much. Have a great Leishman.
Great Leishman, everybody. Very funny stuff. Definitely come back. That was awesome. All right, let's get a great writer up here. Check out his social media. Got some books out and stuff. Buy the books. Scott Ladotti. He was at the first open mic when there was like 10 people here. So thank you for coming back. Scott Ladotti, everybody.
Thanks, man. And thanks for staying so late. There's like still so many people here. That's awesome. So this is about a relationship that started at 3 a.m. when I called my mom and I texted her and I was like, "Hey, you know what time I was born?" And she was like, "If this is for an astrology girl, run." But I didn't, and then we had a great relationship for like 2 weeks. It's called My Blue is Valentine. Don't bake me a birthday cake this year. Let's go to Wawa and buy a carton of Earl's cigarettes. And then drive to the Poconos, to the mini golf, where we made dirty bets around the windmill. And then both of us got a rash that night from the heart-shaped hot tub. Or we can go back to your parents' basement, the one with the wood panel walls. And that cold night we slept under the heater, and you whispered to me, "Pretend it's Aspen." Let's get married this time like we swore we would at 17, when all we wanted was to do drugs and fall in love. And we were still young enough to be good at both. Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll do one more. So when I moved to New York, I moved from another place right after a breakup, and I was like, I'm never having a girlfriend again. I'm gonna tear this city up. And like 2 days here, I met my girlfriend who I've been with now for 10 years, who I love very much. Sometimes you wonder, like, is this what I should be doing in my life? But the answer is yes. It's 2 a.m. or dawn. You look over at her sleeping sometimes and wonder, is this the last one? Bag still packed, clothes unwashed, a leftover from the last tenant who lived with nothing stable. When I lay on that mattress my first nights in New York, I knew in my heart that love was just a relic from centuries covered by dust, and there was nothing left of me to exhume those centuries, or at least find someone who still believed. But then you're there, and you realize you've been there for weeks now, and you ask yourself, when did this happen? Was it the night a bartender recognized you, put a black marker through the bottom of the tab? Maybe. Or that night you choked out a taxi driver who refused to drive her back to Manhattan. Where have the years gone? It was winter, I think. I remember her boot prints in that first snow. The barista who put a shot in our coffee for an extra $1. The subway kid playing Crocodile Rock on a clarinet. And how our boss didn't come to work that day because a snowplow hit his car. So none of us did anything. And I forgot for a while that people are inherently bad. You look over at her sleeping sometimes, and you know you've gotten old. You don't talk to bartenders anymore. You don't go anywhere with a line. You don't feel so bad about kids in cages. You look back and you realize you made all the wrong friends, dated all the wrong girls, said I love you to all the wrong people, and it makes you exhausted, but it never makes you fall asleep. You think about all the hearts you've been handed and how they all came with a curse, except this one, because this one is still easy. We are not the same, but we are simple. Like the amen after an arduous homily, you can bow your head and be thankful. For the first time, asking nothing from anyone. For the first time, happy you're here instead of anywhere else. And if you're afraid nothing will ever be new again, just remember the last time you were free, and how you spent it all praying to be found. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Pat.
Scott Ladotti, everybody, check out his social media. I tagged him in the Instagram story, and you can visit his profile and buy his books.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, hell yeah. Thank you for coming out, everybody. Thanks for sticking around. We're gonna keep it going now. After midnight, this is where it gets fun. Is there Stella Ann in the house? Get Stella Ann up.
Hi, can everyone hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
I'm not good with mine. Before I start this poem, I just want to say I'm reading on this Saturday, the 18th, at the Bandit Saloon, and you should come, 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Woo! And I'm gonna keep with the Valentine's Day theme. Do a little love poem thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So this one is called Picking a Scab with Such Convention. The ocean. Billows of silk and flesh and crystal foam. All of it paper to nerves. I crave only the warm automation of pulling their hip toward mine in shared half slumber. Always is my desire to kneel and please, obsess and adorn, be adored, to fall into relief, a place called ours. Imagine 2 cats, a pit bull, striped pajamas, all sweet and wonderful. Confuse it, I do, with holy. To everyone else, a bore. I bore myself with what I crave. Sugar, conventional beauty, cold wine spooned over ice, strong tea, hair drooping in the shower, ass pimpled and cute, gold hoop poked through one lobe, the voice they use, low and amused, standing round in small circles at parties. We decide to do it long distance. I leave them in the city, some months on the cliffside. The night before I go, crunch of snow, a quiet drive home. Could anything be worth this? Even myself, I wonder, but get on the plane. I awake each day to blue, cold wind off the ocean blue, cold crash of the waves, cold smudge of the fog, rolling over the pasture, through the wood door of my cabin, blue curtains and rotting walls, and the salt that ruins one computer, then another. Here my hands smell often of milk, sour cholesterol squeezed into the sleeve edge of old knit sweaters. My hands red and pulling the teat. Strangeness becomes muscle memory, newness the next thing. We discuss in polite tones who must do the night milking. Friday, my turn. I press my head to the goat's flank and think about my hands sliding inside of you. I prefer a day unhappy together than a good one alone. A reason to leave, as good as any. The reason I cannot. Late summer and the blue fading. I fly to the city. We have so many nights to spend together, I feel bottomless, a happy baby, and deathly afraid. On the fourth day, we argue, stomping on damp pavement through puddles, lit by neon, thick with old paper plates, the rain and the buttons on our shirts, and the fire hydrant pouring like oil barrel through coral reef. We need orange wine for the late movie. We forget the umbrella, remember, leave it anyway. It has to do with attachment, the word we all use, meaning, I think, confusion of animals in need and unable to know if it's milk or death or mother, just fat and sugar. Some excitement, chemical scams. Years ago, I'd say this with real conviction. Does it have to be special for you? Is it special anymore? Do you care? I want it all the time, no matter how dull. Is that insulting or desire or youth? One night, a thin woman with a long smile desires you in the bar where men with sticky beards sell coke to girls who listen. I listen to the story through a screen, splayed like a still lamb on mildewed sheets. Your face lined, my sunset 3 hours after yours. Do you like how I hate her, our game of housewife? Do you fear newness, becoming the next thing? The first time we met in the wood floor pub, you turned around to see me, green mascara I'd applied in the laundromat next door. You ordered my drink with a practiced line. The passage of time, a year in bed, new apartment, a bucket of milk now full and hanging from a hook on the shit-smeared wall. Tomorrow someone else will do the milking. Tonight you slam the silicone member inside me hard enough to skew it permanently left. Is this my shape or willingness to accommodate good enough? All of it, for so long, what I went to bed wishing for, I ask now, oh small belief I hold still, is this love a love of the idea of love, or a nurturing place to rest? January, so I make a list of what evades me, such as feeling my feelings before I describe them. Similar. I cannot wear perfume. The idea sear up to an aching throat, the sensation stifling, intoxication, then migraine within the hour. Am I the bore? I mean, these imagined day-to-day pleasures, a cigarette sucked between sips of thick tar-like coffee, the day gone by consuming nothing but the olive at the bottom of the glass. All of it tires me, like small talk or Tuesday dinner. The refusal is as apparent to me now as gas pain in bed with a new lover. I will not buy a nail clipper, a mattress, a good phone. These things find me, I know. With you, I am happy. Some days I feel it too. I decide cruelty, disguised as something profound, is not worth being part of something temporarily interesting. To recover means what exactly? For God's sake, never publish a poem before 30. Oh, it's the same for love, I'm sure, but people die young, so I wake up in your armpit and feel like a king.
Stella Ann showing us how it's done. Okay, this is a book I have called 1 Year. It's got one line of every day of the year. So I'm going to read today's line. February 13th. It is the bus window that is important. So that's going to be a weekly feature. Every week, I'm going to read a line from 1 year. You can purchase it from me, $5. It is the bus window that is important. All right, can we get Marie Christine up? Marie Christine going to do some amazing performance for us. Thank you guys for hanging out. Have another drink. Let me know what's up. Marie Christine, everybody.
Hi everyone. I'm not going to ask you to sing with me tonight. I'm just going to ask, please, you know, I believe in free expression, I really do. But please, the person who does those good luck spot and kissing spot and fucking spot, please stop. Especially the bad luck stop. The bad luck spot. I even cannot pronounce it. The bad luck spot. It freaks me out. I was walking on Washington Square Park, and you know, I love to go to farmers market. I go with my basket, and I'm happy. And then all in a sudden, bad luck, and I'm like, oh, and I am exhausted. And I go back home, and I didn't buy my baguette, and I am scared, because the first time that I walked on a bad luck spot, it was such a week. I lost my mind. I almost lost my mind. And so last week I went back and I thought, okay, kissing spot, yeah. Fighting spot. And I stopped. Breathe. I just stopped. Breathe. And for 3 weeks, he didn't write back to me. For 3 weeks. I had no idea where he was, what he was doing. 3 weeks. And I almost. And I couldn't move. Stop. Breathe. Keep breathing. I almost lost my mind. And just before he left, he put his head on the piano and played one note. And for 3 weeks, I didn't hear a word. I almost lost my mind! I could be your mother. Thank you.
Marie Christine, everybody. Fantastic. All right, let's get Caitlin Simotics. Can we get Caitlin up to do some amazing poetry for us? Great artist coming to the stage.
Hey. Woo! Happy Valentine's Day.
Yes.
I put my Google job. Okay, first poem. Sifting through your nutrition facts like it's the only thing I'm allowed to read right now. And when that guy told me that it's okay to let God talk to you within reason, if no one knows about it, I didn't realize
You play music?
it would be such a big deal if I didn't follow the rules.
This is where we are now. Okay. So
On God, I'm spinning in the Maytag Centennial pool of ideas about how they fix the ozone by outright banning hairspray or whatever. While you literally have an Aperol spritz on the rocks. Everyone says the planet booked. Me? I'm not in direct control. Just because I personally choose to have a soggy-ass paper straw when I go to Ted's Montana Grill doesn't mean some turtles won't die, so fuck it.
Ted's Montana Grill, yeah.
I know, right? I'm doing this up. Okay, this one's called Lana Del Rey is still spinning on the Saturday Night Live stage from 2012. I want to taste expensive port wine with notes of leather or oak or whatever. I want to talk about my new audio interface. I want to eat every note on the toy keyboard just to rearrange its innards in mine. Say hi to those lousy, unwitting gatekeepers of historically beautiful, iconoclastic song structures for me. They've had this greeting coming for them for a while now. I'm like fighting through that thick, digitized, totally fogged up, informative coding because you know guys in button-downs who wear glasses are like the authority on what makes a song go hard as hell. Like, I'm totally and insanely under the impression that if Pitchfork.com were to give me less than a perfect porcelain pristine 10.0, you'd simply take me out back, kiss me hard before you go, with tongue, and then immediately shoot me with like a rifle? And then I'll just do one more.
Yeah.
It's called WeWork Poem, but I've never been to a WeWork. It's not about WeWork, and I don't know anything about WeWork, really. Greta just stole a mug from there. Happy belated birthday, Bankroll Fresh. The sunset looked awesome today. Made me smile hardcore through my window, and something ruptured on Earth today, you guys. Got the urge to text my friend from middle school to say, the metaverse reminded me of this anime we watched together. On her dad's private jet airplane emoji, the Bahamas. Sword Art Online.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I binged that shit in 7th grade so hard on this girl's private jet. This is a real story.
Yeah.
Flash forward, big business deal. Old friend of mine sent me the contact for her band's guitarist who can edit tiny animated men into foot fetish videos that I record. Well, that sounds lucrative. Alexa, roll me a blunt. Everything about Earth is awesome right now. The sun is still up, the music is moving hardcore, and I'm in my element.
Yeah.
It's raining right now. It feels so good on my skin. Next year, I bet it'll be even cooler. Alexa, roll me a blunt.
Yeah, baby!
Caitlin Semiotics, is that a real name? Semiotics, I'm so sorry about that. That was fantastic. Semiotics, that's what I thought when I read it. I was like, oh shit. It's like some theory shit or something. Alright, can we get Camilla? Is Camilla out there? Alright, let's get Camilla up, everybody. We got a lot of fantastic art.
Hello. Hi. I'm reading a piece that I wrote based off of an art piece by Wesley Kandinsky called Heavy Circles.
Yeah.
My heavy circles, I observe an imaginary ecosystem being carried here within heavy circles. The abundance of dark space that fills the lingering void. Complementing one another in their created environment, the spherical elements are both unique in themselves and yet seem to be as one, existing together. There is a powerful aura amongst the spheres, the radiation of energy soaking and seeping, just like a blot of ink on a piece of paper, but done purposefully, not just an accident. And not like a stain that someone did not notice on their shirt. I just cannot seem to look away. There is movement in the overlapping curves, yet the consuming jet black that holds everything together has invited a calming stillness to their floating harmony. This feeling remains until I begin to notice the largest sphere located off-centered, slightly up, or one could say slightly down, has taken on a bleeding effect. A smelly cheese with leek and odor, possibly delicious that your stomach starts to speak, or is it rather a rotten stench of weeks-old piling garbage? Just as shadows spread and are just temporary and ever-changing, it is almost that time when the sun should come back out again.